and deny valid claims, because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, June 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 88. On today's show, we'll have Connor O'Gara at 7:30 for Saturday Down South. Chef Michael Johnson hops on at 8:30. LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson at 8:30. Ryan McGee at 9 o'clock. And country music star Justin Moore at 9:30. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Our number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
From a championship backfield to your morning drive.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5!
You're locked in to Off the Bench.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Yo! Welcome in, OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge here on this Thursday morning. Jake, Alondra, and Tay here with you. No Flynn, but no pictures either of him, so a little surprised by that. We got one picture of these custom T-shirts that they made where he's looking like an idiot, so par for the course. But that's all. That's all we really got. We got an airport beer picture and that picture.
So speaking of the T-shirt, is that his face cropped onto somebody, or did he actually have hair like that at some point?
He had hair like that.
He had hair like that.
I mean, I didn't...
No, remember, because we were talking about, I had found this, whenever we were making the graphic that we were going to announce, whatever, I found this picture of him when he was with the Jets. And he had this crazy mustache. Right. And we were making fun of him last week.
We pulled up the picture, it was hanging out of his head.
Yeah, he had a little flow going.
A little bit of a man bun. Yeah.
He was like, oh, that was when I had the man bun situation. I was like, oof.
It wasn't very.
Didn't peg you for a man bun guy.
It's a New York vibe.
Luscious man bun. It was kind of like ratty man bun.
Yeah.
That's what he had. That's what he was rolling with.
It's fine.
So, he's out. He'll be out today. He'll be out tomorrow. It's okay. We got it held down here. And Tay laid out the show. Got a big show. Very excited about today's show. Kind of going a little bit of everywhere. Talk a lot of football with Connor. Munchies with Chef. Obviously, baseball with Jay. Ryan McGee covers Omaha every single year, and you know how Ryan is. He does a deep dive into the history and the culture and all the things surrounding Omaha. So very excited for that conversation. And then when Justin Moore joins us, he is a Arkansas fan. He is a Hog. Now, he did marry somebody from Louisiana. She started out an LSU fan, but he converted her, but it's okay. We're going to talk a little trash with Justin, maybe make a bet. So any suggestions you have, put it inside the chat. Anything for a bet. Now, just know whatever the bet is, I'm probably the one that's got to do it if LSU doesn't win. So don't make it too crazy. But we'll come up with something whenever we have him at 9:30.
What about if LSU wins, he has to wear an LSU shirt or jersey at his next concert and post it on Instagram?
Or he just has to come do a show down here. Justin, it's been too long, man.
He was just here last year.
He was here last year.
Was he?
Yeah.
Right. Missed
he was
that
at,
one.
He was at Cajun Country Jam.
Last March-ish.
It was May because it was Cajun Country Jam.
Okay, so that's why I
just remember whenever he was here, I was not here. We were trying to link up, and it doesn't feel that long ago. So last year makes sense. All right, so if he does that, if he has to wear an LSU shirt on stage, which I do like that, I'm trying to think what the equivalent would be for me. Oh, would I have to wear an Arkansas shirt?
Here?
No, at SEC Media Day.
Oh,
yeah,
you
that's
might
a big
have
one.
to do that, yeah.
That's a lot.
And you have to call the Hogs.
That's not that bad.
At SEC Media Day.
That's bad.
Do you know who would be elite at calling the Hogs? Hunt Palmer.
Hunt would be?
I could just see Hunt, as an Arkansas fan, going all out, calling the Hogs. Like, that's him.
I don't know that Hunt would appreciate that.
I don't know. He went full yell leader.
He did.
I forgot what they were called.
That's probably
when he
why.
did,
That's probably why I get
the clap and the whole deal. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see what the bet ends up being. Alondra, how we doing? Nothing like spending your night at AutoZone.
I don't even know, guys. Like, my life, being me is so exhausting. I don't even know. Like, my car died again last night, and I had to take it to AutoZone, and then they tested the battery and the alternator, and he said that both were fine, so who knows?
And I was telling you, it's like almost like you want something to be wrong because then you kind of know.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's the issue.
Right.
I can fix it. When it's like, nah, they're all good.
Cool, so my car's just not starting sometimes?
Yeah,
great. Yeah. I mean, it started this morning.
And it started yesterday, obviously, when you left here.
Yeah.
But then you go work out, you come back, and it doesn't start.
Right.
Tight.
So,
cool.
I don't know. Yeah.
Awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah. Nothing like that.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
But other than that, life's great.
Yeah, other than that.
Yeah.
Tay, you said you got to be at work late tonight?
Not late. We do an AFR the next 2 days.
I'm doing
where's
AFR
Paul?
today, too.
I don't know.
I don't know where Paul's at, but Matt is on his way to New York.
I knew that. No, I thought he was going to Boston.
Oh, maybe he's going to Boston.
To watch the Yankees.
Okay, so he's going to Boston
to
watch
the Yankees, Red Sox.
And then Moose is hosting, so I'll be doing audio and Tay-Tay's doing video. So
get this. I got audio today. I got video today. I'm doing audio tomorrow. Hadn't done that in a long time.
For AFR?
Yeah.
Well, at least Moscona's not hosting. He'd yell at you, berate you a little bit, let you know how bad you are at your job.
It's true.
Moose will just get mad at himself. He'll just start hitting his head.
Right.
He'll be like, it's my fault. I got this moron to cover
exactly.
for me.
Like he'll blame himself.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, no question about it. So at least you don't have that situation.
Guys, we got the grass cut yesterday too. We beat the rain. Big day for you, guy.
Monarchs, were they on?
No.
You own Air Monarchs. There's no doubt in my mind.
I actually don't.
Whatever.
No, these were a pair of Asics that I've had like 8 years. They got like a hole in the toe. Those are the grass cutting shoes.
You might want to cover that up. I mean, like part of cutting the grass, certainly when you push mow, like you're going to have some things thrown back at you.
For sure.
Okay. It's probably why you have a hole in the toe already.
They stay outside though. Like we're good.
Yeah, those ain't coming in the house. RSP1218 inside the chat says, Jake, you got to wear the foam hog hat. Oh, that feels like a step too far.
I'd rather just
if I wear a shirt and I'm calling the Hogs in front of all my SEC brethren, that feels like that would be enough. Now, is the bet going to be just this one like solo game, or is it going to be who makes it farther in Omaha?
Let's make it who makes it further.
All right.
Because because if Arkansas beats LSU, loses their next two, and LSU goes on to win, like did Arkansas really win?
I call the Hogs if LSU wins the national championship.
No.
Just like he doesn't probably want to wear a LSU shirt if Arkansas finally wins a national championship. All right, so we'll format it. We'll get it all together. We'll present it to Justin at 9:30 when he comes on with us. So, all right, so we do have a bunch to get to. So let's go ahead and get this thing started.
It's time to get glowing, courtesy of GoFlow IV Spa, where hydration, vitamins, and a summer-ready glow are always on tap. Now, for starters.
All right, Go Flow IV Spa. You can check them out on Facebook to learn more. You can check them out online, goflowiv.com. Stop in at Go Flow IV Spa and see how good being hydrated feels. It is right on Jefferson near Bocage. Book your appointment today. Go ahead and get ready for the weekend. Look, I think we all know what this weekend is going to call for. So go ahead. Go in before, go in after. Enjoy yourself, relax, and get hydrated. Summer is here, and this Louisiana heat, as we know, is no joke. All right, so the thing that I wanted to do right here off the top, LSU football television schedule. All right, because I would say, and I'd argue that we're probably the place that cares the most about kickoff times. We don't want to play a lot of games in the sunlight. We certainly don't want to play any home games in the sunlight. I am not Big Ten Bob, who likes to play marquee games at brunch. That is dumb. That makes no sense to me. And I want to go out there and have the full experience of an all-day tailgate. Let that thing buzz up to an 11 before you kick it off under the lights in Tiger Stadium. I know, I've been on social media, and there's so many, former Big Ten players, current Big Ten players, people like nothing's better than a noon kickoff, and then you can go out to the bars afterwards. It's dumb. No, you just tailgate all day, and then you go to it, and then you still go to the bars afterwards, because no big game should ever be kicked off while pancakes and waffles are still being served, okay? So that's what we look for. All right, so some of these we already knew, but we'll go down the full list. Alondra, Tate, if y'all want to react to one, certainly just jump in here. We know at Clemson, going to be on ABC. It's going to be a 6:30 p.m. local kick. Week number 2 versus La Tech. That's going to be on ESPN and the SEC Network Plus, 6:30 again, versus Florida, right? Remember, an early Florida game. That one's typically in October. It is going to be the 3rd game of the year, September the 13th, at home, ABC, 6:30 p.m., local kick. Thank God. That game always needs to be under the lights when it's the Tigers and the Gators.
Love that. Like the two that I think of, 2007, obviously, and then 2019 when Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, and them were here. Like every Florida game I think of at home at night.
At night, yeah. Like when Jaden goes off at night. 2019, the one you're talking about, it was at night. Go all the way back to our game in 2007. That game was at night. We played them at home during the day in 2005, and we beat them. And it doesn't feel the same when you play that team and you beat them during the day. Now, the one that TDP set the rushing record, I didn't care when that one was being played. That was awesome. That was incredible.
That was at 11 a.m. Or was it?
It was an early. It was. I know. I think it was noon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like a noon kick or whatever. And they ran counter about 47 straight times, and
just
Mashburn playing tight end, and nobody
Mashburn
could stop it. It was incredible. It's football erotica right there, running counter, and they knew it was coming, and they couldn't do anything about it. And this big, pretty in his uniform edge rusher that thought he was really, really good, and by the end of it, he's tapping out, please stop running this play towards me. Then we got the Tay Bowl versus Southeastern on the SEC Network. That's gonna
Tigers in trouble.
That's going to be a 6:45 kickoff. And then, you got at Ole Miss. That's going to be on September the 27th. That is going to be a flex game. So flex games can be 2:30, 3:30, 5, 7. All right, so all those are Central Time, by the way. So it could be a day game, but not going to be the noon game. Same situation versus South Carolina at home. That's going to be a flex game, so one of those windows. But, again, not a noon kick. Now, at Vanderbilt, that is going to be an early kick. That is going to be one of those brunch time games. And LSU fans, last time you went there, you sold them out of beer. But just be careful. This one's going to be an early boy. Probably going to be a little hot there in Nashville. That's a trip that a lot of LSU fans are always – every away team for Vanderbilt is going to make that trip. Nashville booming. We all know that. So if you're going to go to that one, go to GoFlow, get some My High, and get hydrated. But I don't mind that one being early. It's it's on the road, whatever.
So I prefer the road games at 11 a.m. a lot of
now
times.
Now that I'm working and calling the games, yeah.
Well, just because everybody says, okay, well, it's 11 a.m., the home crowd's not in it. Yeah, that's my point. I'd prefer to play a road one early.
Texas A&M at home, that's going to be on October 25th. That's going to be in that same flex time that we talked about with Ole Miss and South Carolina. At Alabama, that one is going to be at night. So you're going to get a prime time kickoff. No surprise there. That's just what that game typically always is. Versus Arkansas, the only early game you're going to have at home. That is going to be an 11 a.m. or a noon, kick. That's going to be an early one in Tiger Stadium against the Razorbacks. So the only one you have, because then it goes to Western Kentucky. That's actually going to be a night game. And then at Oklahoma is in that flex spot as well. So only 2 early games at Vanderbilt versus Arkansas. It could be worse. It could be worse. I don't love any of those early kicks like that at home, but if you only get one, it's against Arkansas. That game has been played early before. As long as it's not one of the marquee ones. As long as it's not Florida, as long as it's not Ole Miss, as long as it's not Alabama, I'm okay with that one.
One early home game.
If you're going to get one.
Yeah, one early home game because Vandy's on the road. Like, has that ever happened? Maybe a few times. Not in recent history.
Yeah. So, again,
you usually get 2 or 3.
Yeah, you could get some day games. You could get some of those 2:30 games. But, again, the only early game, right, the only 11 a.m. situation you're going to get at home is Arkansas. So that is kind of the TV schedule for LSU football. Just not even really looking at the TV portion of it, but just kind of looking at what it is. It plays out pretty nicely for you. You look at your home games. You look at your away games. You look at how they're formatted. It's what we always look at. It's going to be every opportunity for LSU to make that run that we're talking about. All right, we will step away for the first time. We got Connor O'Gara set to join us in about 15 minutes from now. We'll break down LSU football, SEC football with Connor. We'll do it right here when we jump back on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, so we told you about the 2 pictures that Flynn sent us. Well, they both involved Dos Equis. The first one was Rude. He was enjoying an airport beer during the show while we were here on air. Nice, frosty mug right next to the Dos Equis, ice cold. Rude. And then the shirt that we're talking about, it was with him with this ridiculous haircut. And, it was like 40. It was like 40th birthday themed shirt. And he was on the golf course. And guess what he was holding in his hand? A Dos Equis. Right, so that's not just lip service here. It is something that we enjoy, and it's always a good time to enjoy a Dos Equis. Right, tailgate beer, elite. Right, ballpark beer, elite. If you're in Omaha, for sure. Beach beer, lake beer, studio beer, maybe. Go for Dos. Drink Dos Equis. Drink responsibly.
There it is, the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar.
Yeah.
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Tay, you linked a couple of Saints stories here in the doc. One being Saints are interested in receiver. He was like this great, not secondary piece, because I felt like he was more than that in Buffalo with Josh Allen, and certainly like a trusted piece. And then he sounds like this big deal to go to Jacksonville, where it just was not great. And now you're starting to, and I hate this part of the NFL, because now it's like, oh, he's done. Can't play. Can't sign that guy. It's like some of these franchises, I don't know why we don't look at them and be like, that's just a terrible franchise. It's just a bad franchise. It's poorly ran. It's a coaching just revolving door. Nothing really goes right there. They'll have a one-off every now and again. It's like a player like that signed a big deal not that long ago, goes to a bad franchise, and then perception is he's just done. I can't play. And I hate it. And look, I'm biased here because I see former players, former teammates. I've seen this happen to a lot of guys. But Tay, what would the Saints be getting with a Gabe Davis? Like, what would it add to the receiver room?
I think it would add another deep threat. If you remember 2 years ago, this is how he got that big contract. It was a playoff game for Buffalo. He had 3 touchdowns in that game.
Yep.
I believe it was. That was the overtime game with the Bills and the Chiefs that the Chiefs ultimately won. But, I mean, nobody could cover Gabe Davis in that game, and that was a good Chiefs defense. He's 26 years old, and to your point, everyone's going to say, oh, well, he can't play anymore. He had a bad year. He had a really bad quarterback last year. Trevor Lawrence was awful last year. Christian Kirk wasn't good. Christian Kirk got picked up by the Texans. I think he's a good receiver. It was really Brian Thomas, and that was it for that Jags offense. Like,
yeah,
this is a young guy. He hadn't had terrible injuries. I mean, there's been a few. He's 26. Like, you can probably get him pretty cheap.
Well, so he's receiving more than $11 million from the Jags, making a one-year veteran minimum deal likely. So for his next destination. And so the Jags are paying his tab, right? Again, he signed a massive deal with them. And by the way, shout out to Ross Jackson. I saw that little nugget on LouisianaSports.net where you can check out all your latest Saints news. Yeah, if you're going to sign him for a vet minimum, if the Jags are picking up the tab on him, we talked about it during the draft process. Like, this Saints roster and this Saints team, they need some juice at receiver, because you have a Chris Olave who, and this isn't like trying to be funny, it just is what it is. Like, he's one hit away from who knows. I mean, he's had so many concussions. So that can be a situation where if he goes down again, well, what do you really have? Well, you have Rashid Shaheed. Remember, Rashid Shaheed, incredible athlete. What do we always talk about with those incredible track athlete type guys? A lot of hamstrings, a lot of muscle pulls. So he hasn't been able to get on the field consistently. You sign a Brandon Cooks, and so you got a veteran presence there. But I would just say, because of the past health of the receivers that you have, Like, do you really want to be showing up again with Uber drivers as your receivers on Sundays? That's what you did last year. There's guys that were like out of football,
memes,
and they came back. I mean, and Bub might be one of the more exciting of the name, right? And the Kevin Austin Jr.'s, Cedric Wilson Jr. coming back, Dante Pettis coming back. My God, so many times y'all made me listen to Mason Tipton facts a year ago, okay? So if you can get a veteran guy that, sure, he's not coming off his best year, but I think you need to look at where he was in Jacksonville, what that franchise has been, work him out. Does he still have it? And look, he's got a different body type. He's a different body type receiver, built really more like a running back than a receiver. So, and I say that in like a positive way because he's really good on the edge run blocking, but also he's good, tough catches, over the middle. I think you can throw him some nows. You can throw him some bubbles, some different things. You don't really have that receiver now. Like, you got speed. You got Olave. You got Brandon Cooks. You got Rashid Shaheed. You don't have the receiver that we're talking about, right? So you go add somebody. Again, another team is paying the $11 million. You're paying the veteran minimum, which is basically a little bit more than a rookie minimum. So there's no real investment here. I don't know. I think it makes all sense in the world for the Saints.
Yeah, it does. And so many people are going to say, oh, well, you still need a big-bodied guy. What did we hear? You signed the exact same receiver again. To your point, he plays a lot different, but also, like, this is what you have. Chris Olave, who's injured to all hell, Brandon Cooks, who's now over 30, and Rashid Shaheed, who's really a number 3 and not a 2. Like, I'm not saying I'd rather have him over everybody, but I'd rather have him over Brandon Cooks at this point in his career. Like, Cooks couldn't stay healthy. He's 31 years old. He's declined for 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis had one bad season. Nobody thinks he's washed.
Yeah, and look, he is 6'2", 225. So, I mean, he's a big guy.
He's pretty big.
You know, he is not kind of in the mold of those other receivers that we're talking about, that short, slender receivers. Again, incredible athletes, incredibly fast, but 6'2", 225 is different than what we're talking about there. So, look, it makes, in my opinion, a lot of sense for the Saints. If they do end up signing him, you add him to a room that needs protection. It needs guys that – so for when your guys do miss games, because history tells us Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks, they're going to miss games. You add a veteran guy in there that has been through the fire, that understands what the NFL is all about, and you don't allow what happened last year to happen to you again.
Well, Chris Olave also doesn't have Derek Carr throwing hospital balls at him this
season. That is true.
So we might have him for a little longer than last season. But this is kind of why I don't really have faith in the Saints this season, though. Like, I know everybody's like, oh, we got Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, whatever. But we've been so focused on the quarterback room that nobody really talks about how bad the rest of the roster is. There's like some bright spots, but I don't know.
Well, to your point,
I don't have faith.
We hope the other two quarterbacks are good.
Right.
He may just have a different quarterback throwing him hospital balls.
Oh, true. You don't know. Maybe Spencer Rattler's out there trying to give Chris Olave CTE too. I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, unfortunately, he's probably going to have that already. Yeah, but we're just talking about the severity of what we're talking about.
It's so bad. Yeah. I feel like really bad for Chris Olave.
Yeah, I mean, if Chris Olave was with
Tua.
Yeah, I mean,
that's one's sad, yeah.
But I was thinking more like if Chris Olave was with like a better, different situation.
Yeah.
Because he's already had some pretty solid seasons.
Yeah.
If he was with, somebody not Derek Carr and not what the Saints offensive line's been over the last couple of years, like protecting whoever the quarterback is and time to throw the football down the field, his numbers, I think, would be up there with some of the best.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's a team that doesn't really have weapons on the outside. What if he was with the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah.
Chris Olave's all-pro caliber player.
Yeah.
With the Kansas City Chiefs.
He's with my Bush League Bolts and Herbert, right? Before they got Ladd McConkey, they were just begging for somebody to be the number one receiver.
Yeah.
Right? And now their number one receiver is, a 5'9", 185-pound white guy. So he's baller.
That's awesome.
Hell of a player. But they could have used him as well. So let's hope that Chris Olave, with a new quarterback, with a new coach, with a new coordinator, with all new around him, can play a full season and put up the numbers that we think he is certainly capable of putting up. All right, we will step away. When we come back, going to be joined by Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to pelicanroof.com, pelicanroof.com. So many different things you can use the website for. Instant roof quote right there, top right corner. You put in your address, right, outlines your roof. That's at your home or your business, and it gives you a quote of what it would cost for you. Incredible tool. Take full advantage of that one. Also, I want to remind you again, they offer 0% interest financing for up to 21 months for qualified applicants. What a great deal that is as well. So when you go to the website, you'll see all those financing options that we're talking about. You'll see that they've got a Lafayette number and a Baton Rouge number. That is not just going to be to the same people. That is to the Lafayette office. That's to the Baton Rouge office because, well, they are in both of those communities, serving both of those communities. You'll check out the 5-star reviews. And again, that's not just us up here saying that. That is you saying that. Check it out. It's right there on the homepage. First thing that you see, go to the website today, pelicanroof.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. R&B Thursday, of course. Bring it back, bring it back. Going to go to video now. We've got our guy Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, set to join us. Connor, how we doing, sir? How you living?
I'm living well. I didn't realize it was R&B Thursday.
It is.
I would have come more prepared with Boys to Men takes.
Yep.
Somehow still underrated, even though that era missed me a little bit. But I like R&B Thursday. I feel like that's a genre that I think we need to get back to a little bit more.
Thank you.
Being honest.
Yeah, that's why I do it. It's for the people. Boys to Men certainly is on the playlist here. We'll play certainly some Usher, some Genuine, some Jagged Edge, some Jodeci. Like all that will be played here today, just so you know.
That's good to know. Late 90s Usher too. Not like, hey, I've made it big and I'm putting out
That's right.
like into the aughts. I like real late 90s Usher. It hits home in a different way.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you right now. It's a great take. I typically do like your takes, and so I'm not surprised by it. One of the things I want to get your take on immediately right here, because I need to know this information. What time slot should a marquee football game be played?
It's a good question. I think context is key, because Lord knows Ohio State fans are just incensed that Big Noon kickoff exists, and they want to have every single Ohio State game starting at noon. And fans are like, what the heck? Like, this is just ridiculous, even though it's lining their pockets with cash as we speak. But I think an ideal college football game is played at night. I think it's played at night. I think it's played at 7 p.m. I think that there are certain justifications for 3:30. Obviously, 3:30 on CBS, 2:30 in your central time zone was a staple for 2+ decades that we obviously hold very near and dear in college football. Yeah. Is it still that way anymore? I don't think it is. No. I really don't. I do think that if you're talking about a premier college football game and what is most important, what is the thing that you turn on TV and feel like it is biggest, it is Chris Fowler, it's Kirk Herbstreit, it's Holly Rowe, it's this big time type atmosphere where it feels like anything can happen. That's at night. That's at night for me.
That's the correct answer. Well done, sir. And, look, I do a radio with a lot of former Big Ten athletes, and, they push the noon kickoff. I'm like, look, no big game should be at breakfast time. Like, I need that game to marinate on campus, like, all day long. Like, I need that build up to just continue to build. And, look, the tailgates are still there at that time. Hell, the tailgates for, like, a big-time SEC game are there on Thursday night. Right. And so, like, you wake up early, you tailgate, and you walk around campus. And Connor, it's like you can feel the electricity of the game. And by like the hour, it just intensifies and just continues to build. And then you get to kickoff. And if you've handled yourself right, if you've hydrated properly, you're going to enjoy a nice 3.5, 4-hour game that you've been waiting for all day long.
I'm a Big Ten grad, so I can say this. It's 100% true. And look, I remember games at Indiana wherein Indiana would play, gosh, who was it? Oh, it was Ball State. They had Ball State on like a Thursday or a Friday night or something like that. And that game, by the time you got to kickoff at 7:30, because Indiana never had night games, ever. It's just not something you do. And in Big Ten country, later in the season, the weather, the way that it changes, you need to be able to have those daytime games so that fans aren't miserable watching teams that aren't going to be playing for national championship. And so at Indiana, that game over the course of the day, you're right, it progressed. And it created one of the wildest tailgates I've ever been to. You could probably find it in deep, dark corners of the internet that I don't care to go to anymore. Yeah. But there is just something to be said for that, as opposed to, look, I went to tons of Indiana games where they were starting at noon. And one of the biggest games I went to was against a Michigan Denard Robinson team.
Yeah.
And that buildup was just not quite there. And it was gray. Everything felt slower. And it just didn't quite have the same sort of gravitas that a 7:30 game did. And that's a weird thing to say. For whatever reason, though, our eyes are just trained to process it that way. There's a reason why when we watch the NFL, it just feels like such a better product when these games are being played at night. And I think that's something that the SEC has always done so much better than any other conference, is having these games at night and really saying, like, do we want to have this game at 11 local time or noon? Because I just think there's something about it that looks better to the viewer when it's being played in, under the lights.
Yep, I agree. Well said there. And we looked at LSU's schedule a little bit earlier and kind of went down. Only going to be one like truly early noon type kickoff, and that's going to be Arkansas at home. So LSU's schedule looks like LSU fans would want it to look like. Connor, there was a question going, around the internet, and I had a couple of different people reach out to me, and they asked for my answer. And then, of course, I made some fans mad because, well, that's just what happens in the SEC when you disagree with somebody. It was start, bench, or cut Nussmeier, Lagway, and Arch. All right, so tough, right? So Nuss, Lagway, and Arch, start, bench, and cut. And I guess it started with our guys CD and Roman. They were doing the SEC network, and they both went start Lagway, bench Nuss, cut Arch Manning. I would just flip Lagway and Nuss and then roll with the rest.
I'm not pandering when I say this because, look, I'm already on record saying I think Nuss is the best returning quarterback in the SEC. I have LSU winning a national championship, so I'm not gonna bench Nuss. Obviously, I have to start Nuss in this situation. So I would start Nuss. I would bench Arch so that he can watch, get reps, figure some things out.
Yeah.
And I would only cut Lagway, who, by the way, I still have Lagway as my number 3 quarterback in the SEC. He's one of the players I'm most excited to watch in all of college football. I'm fully in on DJ Lagway.
Yeah, me too.
The only thing is he spent an entire offseason going into this first full pivotal season as a starter, not throwing the football.
Yeah.
And there are still people wondering, is that shoulder right?
Yeah.
Is he going to be okay? And is he going to be in a spot where he just doesn't have it necessarily from the jump and Florida is left scrambling? That would scare me. Obviously, there's always injury risk with all of these guys, but knowing that that's kind of baked in there, I would probably have to bench someone like Lagway, and I would take more of a chance on Arch. But Lagway's the more proven player. If he's healthy, who's going to be the better player day one? I'll take DJ Lagway. I'll take Garrett Nussmeier over Arch, obviously. But it's a great question. And Lenore Sellers, you could absolutely throw in there. But then, you get into the stuff with him about, hey, is Mike Shula going to be the guy that's going to kind of maximize his abilities? You just kind of don't really know.
Yep.
But it is a really, really interesting question that surely just upsets a lot of people.
This is really the year of the quarterback in the SEC for me. The 3 guys that we just mentioned, you mentioned Lenore Sellers there. You can go John Mateer at Oklahoma. I know you're not quite as high on him as maybe some others, but still, a really good quarterback at Washington State. We'll see what he can do at Oklahoma. You got Diego Pavia, and sure, it's not NFL polished quarterback play, but I'll be damned if I went into battle if I didn't call that guy first. Like, I don't know where you fit in, but I'm calling Diego to be in there with me. And so, there is some highly intriguing quarterbacks. And what is wild is, so we're talking all these quarterbacks, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, some of the heavy hitters have quarterback questions. Now, we think that those guys are going to play well. We think that, Ole Miss, it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is because Lane Kiffin's coaching them. But, some of the teams that have had the most success are the ones that have the quarterback questions in the SEC, and the ones that are trying to punch up feel like they have quarterback figured out.
Yeah, it's extremely rare. South Carolina has famously never had an all-SEC quarterback at season's end. And you could argue Lenore Sellers is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in all of college football returning. For ever LSU during the 2010s, it was, where are they going to find a quarterback? And now seemingly on a yearly basis, they have their guy. Florida, for the longest time, with different iterations, obviously they felt comfortable with Kyle Trask returning or something like that. But to have a guy like Lagway, it is different. For Texas to have all the guys that they missed out on in their state in the 2010s, and then to now be in this position where finally the Arch Manning era has arrived. You're right. It does feel like a bit of a change in the guard. I'll be interested if it's a change in the guard at Ole Miss. Austin Simmons is really interesting. He's 19 years old and he's graduated college, which is the new Ryan Williams' 17 stat of 2025.
No, right?
It's crazy to think about
crazy.
that guy.
Hey, the day I graduated high school, so the very day I graduated, on May the 8th of 2004, I turned 19. High school, like the day I graduated high school, I turned 19. And this guy, I mean, so it is pretty impressive.
He's going to be one of those guys that we're going to be talking about so much. And I'm already talking about him a lot because of some of those factors. LSU fans remember Walker Howard really well. And for people that covered Ole Miss last year, when Austin Simmons earned the backup job and moved ahead of Walker Howard, it was kind of like this, wait a minute, what? How is that happening already when Walker Howard came in as this really decorated transfer? The thinking was he was going to redshirt, essentially have a redshirt type season. I realized he'd already redshirted, but behind Spencer Sanders and behind Jackson Dart. Yeah. And then Austin Simmons is just a better player. Yeah. And it was pretty undeniable. And that's obviously why Walker Howard hit the portal at season's end last year. And Austin Simmons did what he did most notably against Georgia when he delivered Ole Miss's biggest drive of the season. But the floor for Ole Miss quarterbacks has been at least, 2022 Jackson Dart and 2020 Matt Corral were at least middle of the pack quarterbacks in the SEC. So there's so much potential with Austin Simmons. And I think he's someone that people are really, really excited to see in Oxford.
What about the weapons there for Ole Miss? Because I was talking about them, and the defense is not going to be the same. Like, I don't care who you brought in. I covered the draft in Green Bay, and I swear we were saying defender, Ole Miss, defender, Ole Miss. Like when we were breaking down, somebody was getting drafted from there. So the defense isn't going to look the same. Offensively, you're right. I mean, it's Lane Kiffin with a quarterback. Is it going to be on the same level of Jackson Dart last year? Not out of the gates, but maybe it can get there. But Logan Diggs at running back, like obviously we've seen him here at LSU. Like he's a good, solid running back, not really a game changer. And then at receiver, man, you know how big of a fan I am of Trey Harris. And when he was there last year, they were different. When he went down with injury, like that was a massive, massive hit for them. So what about the weapon Simmons is going to be throwing to?
Caden Lee's a stud. He's somebody that needs to be talked about more in the SEC. He's one of the best returning receivers in the SEC. I think he's right in that same exact tier that Aaron Anderson is in coming back this year, maybe right behind where Ryan Williams, and I'm very bullish on Cam Coleman at Auburn, especially the way that he finished last season, the former 5-star recruit who will be entering year 2. That those guys are my 4 best receivers in the SEC. So Ole Miss still, even after losing Trey Harris, even after losing Juice Wells, who didn't end up being the player that they hoped he was going to be, still is one of the best 4 receivers in the SEC. And then they were active in the portal. They get a receiver from the second option in Penn State's passing room behind Tyler Warren. They get Stribling from Oklahoma State, who put up big numbers this past year with Bowman, who is Alan Bowman, who was in like year 12 at Oklahoma State. And they have a really nice receiver room. The question for Ole Miss, though, is oddly the ground game. They never figured it out last year. They never did. They lose Quinshon Judkins to Ohio State, and thinking as well, Ole Miss doesn't have to overpay for a running back because this is Lane Kiffin. They're just plug and chug. They'll bring Henry Parrish back. That guy was here like 3 years ago. Get him from Miami. Let's see. It'll work out just fine. They never figured it out. And so I don't know that they're going to figure it out this year. Diggs hasn't been able to stay healthy. You guys know that very well. And this is a team that has a lot of questions on the offensive side of the ball. They're not in the top 100 in Bill Connolly's percentage of returning offensive production. And I think it's going to be very much feeling like a gap year for Ole Miss. But the schedule sets up well. Once again, the schedule sets up really, really well, and it could be a dark horse.
It does, man. The schedule for another year, it's like, I don't know who owed y'all a favor, but y'all cashed it in, and we'll see if it can pay off for Ole Miss. Connor, you're the man. We appreciate your time. As always, you can go catch Connor's work Saturday Down South at CJ O'Gare is the handle on social media there. I'm sure I'll catch up again with you very soon, sir.
Yeah, we're going to be talking literally later today.
I figured. Yeah, that's what, I was like, as soon as I was like, oh, yeah, let's get Connor on the morning show, talk a little quarterbacks. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's Thursday. I'm going to talk to Connor twice. But you know what? I still did it because I enjoy our conversation, sir.
Hey, can't get enough. We'll always talk ball twice in the same day with you, man.
That's right. All right. See you later. Literally.
Thanks, man.
All right. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South. He does. So he joins my SiriusXM show every Thursday. And, that one's obviously we're going to go way more like totality of the SEC. This one's going to be a little bit more LSU theme there, but one of my absolute favorites to catch up with. All right, we will step away. One more break here in hour number 1. We do have Munchies early today. So Munchies is going to be at 8 a.m. because, we've got Ryan McGee at 9. We've got Justin Moore at 9:30. Of course, Jay Johnson at 8:30. So Munchies going to be a little bit earlier today. So go ahead and start to get some of those questions inside the Bayou Ford chat. We'll close out hour 1 when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, every single thing is available there. So, of course, if you're buying new, they're going to have something that meets whatever your needs are. Bigger, smaller, better on gas mileage, whatever the case might be. If you're looking to lease, it's not just one vehicle from each category. It's every vehicle in every category. And certainly right now, what a great time to rent. Summer vacation, going to the beach. Maybe you're going to that softball, baseball, travel ball World Series that's at the beach, or maybe it's in Texas, or maybe it's in Oklahoma. There's one in Tennessee. So you're going all over the place, right? So you need something bigger. Or if you're going to Omaha, right? It's not too late. You can certainly still get there by Saturday. And the best part about All-Star, you can call them right now. And if they have the car on the lot, you can take it off. It's per day rental prices. You drive it to Omaha, drive it back. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact.
2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn, Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
I got a lot of Gators mad yesterday, and I was like, look, I would start Nussmeier, I would bench Lagway, and I'd cut Arch. And like, oh, you're such a homer. I'm like, guys, well, duh. But also, like, objectively, if I'm looking at this, if I'm evaluating 1 through for under 2,000 yards, played in 12 games. Like, I know he didn't start all those. He played in 12 games. 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. The other one threw for over 4,000 yards. Completed 64% of his passes. Lagway was 59% of his passes and threw 12 interceptions and many more attempts. I was like, this isn't being a homer. I love DJ Lagway's game. I think he's tough as hell as well. I'm not starting him over Garrett Nussmeier. There's not a quarterback in this country that I would start over Garrett Nussmeier. Now, we can have the conversation. Like, I will sit here and we could debate Cade Klubnik because I think a lot of Cade Klubnik. We could go over a lot of quarterbacks. This is a great quarterback year. It's not going to be DJ Lagway. It's not going to be Arch Manning. I actually will put Lenore Sellers probably in that group in top 3 quarterback, and Arch has got to show me, but I'm not starting anybody over Nuss. So Florida Gators, y'all have been mad at me for a long time anyway, so what's a couple more of y'all being mad at me? When we come back to kick off hour number 2, little munchies with Chef Michael Johnson right here on OTB.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com, and the website is a great asset for you, okay? Because you can book that consultation that we always talk about. You can find a full list of services. Because, look, you do not need to settle for a mediocre sex life. They have the answer for you. All you have to do is book the consultation. Go see them. Go have that conversation. You should not be embarrassed by this either. Like, if you've got an issue and somebody has the answer to said issue, don't be hard-headed. Just go see them. Go see them right now. Go see them today. They're right there on Drusilla, right? Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. They're ready and waiting on you. You can pick up the phone, give them a call, have a conversation, tell them what you're going through. They're going to book your consultation, get you ready to go. 225-4GD-WOOD.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, June 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 88 in hour 2 of today's show. Our Munchie segment with LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson here at 8 o'clock. And then at 8:30, LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number two of Off the Bench. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All right, welcome back in. It is hour number 2 of OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Let's go ahead and play the sounder because it's time for a little munchies.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and leave this segment hungry. This is Munchies with Executive Chef Michael Johnson. Let's eat.
Oh, Tay, I love that you went, oof.
Man, I thought it was hour 3. I was getting ahead of myself.
I know. Look.
It was
Chef
awful.
being in hour 2 is a little bit different, obviously. So, Chef, thank you so much for moving the schedule around. We appreciate, you being flexible here. So, thank you. Sir.
Not at all. Yeah, no problem.
Chef, right now you got the football team summer workouts, and I don't think there was ever a time that I could throw down some food more than summer workouts because, my God, you're using a lot of energy out there. What is this time like at the Nutrition Center? Because, there's a lot of people that aren't even on campus technically, certainly like the baseball team now, as we know, they're in Omaha. So what's the foot traffic like, but what is that food consumption like here in the summer?
Yeah, actually breakfast is really busy during the summer because a lot of times we make football so, in order to give them time through the day to do other things, we might make breakfast mandatory so that we know that they're getting their meal in and getting energy up, getting nutrition in. Because, to some people, when you get super hot and super exhausted, they don't want to eat, right? And so we want to get the food into them earlier in the day. And so, like right now, we're probably seeing 175 people for breakfast, and that's like 2/3 of what we normally see. And usually, like summer can be slow.
Yeah.
Like in 2021, summer was kind of slow for us, but it really depends on postseason play for baseball. It depends on track and field, what they're doing. Because they were still competing not so long ago, and sometimes they have like postseason competitions as well.
Yep.
So we're pretty busy. Lunch, stays pretty much the same throughout the year. Dinner will dive off a little bit, just because like once stuff gets done and taken care of, lifting and everything else. I think athletes like to, have a little bit of time to themselves, and that's fine. So breakfast is pretty busy this time of year.
Hashtag munchies. I finally got an air fryer. Wondered if there was a way to do okra. I made pickles with my first load from the garden, but I don't need 6 jars of pickle okra.
Yeah. So they're wanting to know how to fry it in there, or
I think that's I mean, I would assume. Yeah. I mean, it's Louisiana. I mean, look, okra's going in a pot with something else. Yeah. But if we're gonna eat just okra, that thing's gonna be fried.
One thing you got to make sure that you're doing when you're air frying anything is making sure that you're getting the breadcrumb or the flour, saturated with oil. In a deep fry, the difference is that you're submerging it in oil, and so it's going to get saturation. But what's unhealthy about it is you're submerging it in the oil, and that oil starts replacing liquids and cooking into the texture or the skin or the like if it's a fruit not a fruit, but a vegetable or a piece of protein, it actually will cook.
Hey, you can fry a fruit, tomatoes, huh?
Yeah, or bananas. So something like, oh man, I love fried green tomatoes, man.
Me too.
Gosh, I just came from my garden, actually, man.
Yeah.
So the air fryer, I think a lot of people kind of fear away from that saturation of the flour or the breadcrumb on the outside.
Right.
But in reality, if you want it to brown up properly and not turn, like kind of dry looking,
right.
and you really need to make sure that you're getting a good saturation of it on there.
Hashtag munchies. My wife wants to cook fried steak fingers tonight. What is chef's recommended cut of steak for that dish? And this one to me is near and dear to my heart because my grandmother used to make steak fingers, and my God, I mean, just I don't even know what she used for the breading on there, but I would go through like 7 or 8 of those things. It is like a core childhood memory for me.
Yeah. I think for me, what we usually do for steak fingers is we'll take cubed beef, like the same thing that you make out of a chicken fried steak, because it's already been tenderized. Because you're deep frying it and it's a high intense heat, those muscle tissues tense up really quickly and can be tough. And so, if you're not using chicken fried steak and good quality chicken fried steak, I would say, like a flank steak or a skirt steak sliced on a bias, so that you're cutting some of that, breaking through some of that connective tissue. We've talked about that before. Like if you have a tougher cut, when you slice it at an angle, you're reducing the amount of connective tissue that's actually holding on to the protein that's directly above it, right? And so the mouthfeel and texturally it loosens it up a bit.
Yep.
I would say if you don't have either one of those, maybe a chuck. A chuck can be kind of tough, but you can tenderize that with a mallet or something and get a pretty good product out of it. If you go too soft with tenderloin, you're wasting your money on a tenderloin.
Right.
Yeah.
My God,
I do like some steak.
I know it too. I was like, man, I'm like about to text my mom. Mom, do you have Nana's old steak finger recipe you can send us down here in Baton Rouge?
Are you guys dipping? Are you guys dipping fans with steak fingers, or like in a gravy or a red sauce or something, or remoulade?
Gravy for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. So that might be on the menu tonight. So shout out to Scott for asking that question, and shout out to Chef for a great answer as always. Hashtag munchies. What's on Chef's Father's Day menu?
This is so funny. I
totally forgot that's a thing.
Yeah, Father's Day, I always let my kids kind of decide, and we usually end up having a meal at the house, and my kids like to cook with me on Father's Day. So it's funny because somebody asked me what I was doing for Father's Day yesterday. I was like, I don't know when's Father's Day. I
learned today.
Reminded by my children. Yeah, exactly.
I learned today because I forgot. So that feels right. I mean, a great meal at the house, and allow them, because look, Father's Day, so they can make you happy.
So that's right, and spending time with them. That's right. I do have some fresh snapper that I caught over the weekend, so I imagine that's going to get eaten at some point over the weekend, and it seems like Father's Day would be a perfectly good day to do it.
I don't know like what your schedule is, but speaking of fish, I think some steelhead trout. Flynn's new, like he's not here right now. He's celebrating his 40th birthday. He'll be back next week, so sooner rather than later. I mean, I think we need to introduce him to the in studio version of Chef Michael Johnson.
That would be awesome, man. I would love to do that. Yeah.
My
Let's
God,
make it happen.
that fish. Oh my God. I think about that often, Chef. That was incredible.
Yeah,
I mean,
appreciate
we could run that back. That's how good. Like, I know you could do so many, but like that was so good. Like, I almost want Flynn to experience what we experienced last year.
Steelhead is so diverse.
So good.
You know, like you can put a lot of stuff with him. I mean, it's one of the fish that I really enjoy eating by itself too. You know, like you can't say that about all fish.
No.
But I do enjoy just grilling a piece of steelhead and eating it.
All right, I'm very intrigued with your answer on this one because I know we've talked about meal prep before and you lose some of the nutrients, but we have one, #munchies. If you had to meal prep for weight loss specific, what would you make?
Weight loss, I have to be careful of what kind of direction I give to that because every human body is a little bit different, right?
Yeah,
so,
very true.
It depends on your activity, what your activity level is.
I guess maybe like what would be healthy, I guess, for anybody almost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what food do you know, like, no matter what? Because that's a great answer because you're right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, when I'm eating healthy, like, things work for me, don't work for my wife. Same, like, vice versa. So, yeah.
In a general sense, in order to lose weight, what you're trying to do is exceed calorie burn compared to calorie intake, if that makes sense. So one of the things that you really can do easily is reduce your portion sizes. Like a lot of people think that fats are bad for the human body, but if you're burning them off quickly and easily, they don't oxidize and you don't have to worry about it as much. So and carbs, carbs are good for loading if you're putting up a whole lot of energy in the like you're going to burn it off. The same thing, protein, I would say 4 ounces in the middle of the day, somewhere in there, depending on your body size. Lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet, man. Carbs are not as necessary. They're necessary to have burn. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But fruits and vegetables, and you can get carb-heavy fruits, carb-heavy vegetables, and get that out of them as well. Corn, for instance, is a starch-heavy vegetable that you can get carbs out of that. So you're not absolutely missing carbs, but stuff like just potato and rice,
right.
You need to back off on that, I think, a little bit. But proteins and veggies. And if you're working out, it's even different because then you have to worry about recovery as well. But if you're talking about a midday lunch, like taking it with you in the morning to eat lunch in the middle of the day, backing off on the portion sizes a little bit so that the calories, because you have to, like if we're just talking about your average Joe that goes and has an office job, for instance, if they're sitting at their desk a lot that day, and they're putting in 4,000 calories in a lunch meal, not only, like,
that's a bad recipe there.
We can back that down a bit and, and maybe not take that midday snoozer nap that you're always fighting off, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. #munchies. Why are fall off the bone ribs considered overcooked?
Well, so technically what you're doing there is, I think it depends on what creature, but connective tissues don't start falling apart. And so there's two things that will break down connective tissue, extended amount of time or extreme heat. So you don't want to cook over extreme heat because that's going to burn, right? So extended amount of time is going to loosen those connective tissues up. And, if you consider what the color, well, and not only that, like you're also leaching nutrient out of the protein as well. In a raw piece of meat, you have the optimum amount. Like that's as much nutrient as that steak is ever going to have available for you. And when you cook it over a long amount of time, you're having this leach that drips out. Now, if you serve it with a sauce that is made from the drippings, you can add some of that back in. But it's technically you are overcooking it. So that's why you see a lot of sauces and gravies go back into a stew like that, not just to prevent them from drying out, but it's to add nutrient back in.
#munchies. What is proper hot dog dressing etiquette?
Oh man, that's a I'm a huge fan of the Chicago dog, but I've also eaten, like I have kind of they have this place in Vancouver. It's called a Japa Dog, and they put like kimchi and bonito flakes and wasabi mayonnaise on it.
All right.
And like when I was in Vancouver, it was absolutely fantastic. And like if I go to certain places and they have this mad chili dog that's like chili cheese gut bomb, but if they're doing it really right, I think it's, man, I just started salivating there off of a chili dog. I think it's wherever you're at, if they're doing it best, right? And I have a love-hate relationship with hot dogs because I served them and cooked them for so long, and it's still like Pavlov's dog. If I smell a hot dog, the opening of a case of a hot dog, like I'm like, oh, I gotta have one.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean there, Chef. All right, let's see if we can get at least one more. All right, perfect one, I think, to end on. Hashtag Munchies, would you do the 999 challenge?
I don't know what that is.
Alondra, would you care to share with Chef what that is?
The 999 challenge is you go to a baseball game, and each inning, you drink a beer and you eat a hot dog. So you end up drinking 9 beers and 9 hot dogs in 9 innings.
Can I do it, or do I want to do it?
Oh, could you? First off, could you do it? Because I don't think I could.
I mean, the hot dogs would impress, but I do think I could do it. I guess it depends, because I've been to baseball games that were 2.5 hours long, and I've been to baseball games that were like, 5 hours long. So I would much prefer it be a dragging on baseball game to give me a little time with it. The 9 beers, I know that I could put back. 9 hot dogs, like as long as they're not, stuff full of toppings. I don't know. That would be. I think I could probably get her done. Just to be honest with you, if it was a challenge and there was money on it, I'm not going to go do that just for S&G.
I feel like if I had to put up like someone like hey, you got to put this person up for this challenge, and if they get it done, you win a great prize. But if they don't get it done, like it's doomsday, I do think I would put up our boy T-Bob.
Yeah, I could see that.
He'd be a first team draft choice.
I can see T-Bob going Kobayashi and dipping his hot dog in the beer and just like crushing it, man.
I mean, he's in Chicago now.
Yeah.
I mean, so like he's in the perfect spot to be able to see if he could get that done.
Oh, man, could you imagine having to eat 9 Chicago dogs back to back like that?
Oh, my gosh.
That would be tough.
Yeah, that is not something that I think anybody would want to try to knock down. Chef, we can't thank you enough. Thanks for being flexible. Thanks for moving up the time here. Great questions in the chat, as always, and fantastic answers from Chef. So we'll catch up again next week.
Take care, guys.
All right, we will step away, and when we come back, start to get into Omaha a little bit. Jay Johnson's going to join us here in about 15 minutes from now. So breaking down the College World Series, starting that process when we jump back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to Rouses.com and check out their weekly savings. Okay, now Flynn and I were there on Friday. We had a great time. We appreciate everyone that came out. But look, Flynn and I, we were going it was great. We went in, and it was warm that day. We were outside, and we go in. We got some Mai-Hai. We came back outside. We were a little bit hungry. We went in. We got some sushi. We came back out. We were like, hey, let's go get a little protein. So we went back in. We got, so many different options for you at Rouse's. And right now, when you go to the website, to pull up their weekly ad, it's just a great tool. You put in your zip code. It's going to pull up the closest Rouse's to you, right? And then you click on it, and it's going to pull it up right in front of you. Fresh buy corn is on sale right now. 80% lean ground beef, only $3.87 a pound right now. So you're saving over $2. Great savings. You're saving over $2 on that bicolor corn as well. Go to Rouses.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Bet Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here on this Thursday morning, taking a look at the latest odds to go win the national championship at the College World Series. Arkansas plus 200, LSU plus 225, and then you have a dip. Then it goes plus 600 for Coastal Carolina, plus 650 for Oregon State, plus 800 for UCLA, and then another drop, plus 1,400 for Arizona, plus 1,600 for Louisville, and plus 3,500 for Murray State. So, I mean, obviously the two favorites, as we know, are playing each other in round number one. If I was to take LSU and Arkansas off the board and I said, okay, I'm giving you $100 and you can go play whatever team you want. Now, that's not just to say, go play the team with the third best odds. Like if you want to maybe get a little out there and get a little juice, get a little value. If I gave you $100 to bet on any team outside of Arkansas and LSU, who would it be?
UCLA.
Coastal for you?
UCLA. Plus 900. They looked really good in the Super Regional. I mean, they've won a lot of games this year. Like that's a team that's a little sneaky. I think Coastal's better, but UCLA has.
Yeah, I mean UCLA.
Wait, what was Coastal's line? I'm still going Coastal, but I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't hate that one. For UCLA, they do get to play Murray State.
Yep.
That is the 4 seed. Now, if they win, they got to play the winner of LSU Arkansas.
They do.
And if that's LSU, you're going against Anthony Ianson. So, tough matchup for them. I'm going Arizona.
Yeah. That's another good one.
They just beat maybe the hottest team in the country after getting beat 18-2 in the first game in Chapel Hill. 1,400 feels like incredible odds. I'm shocked that they're that far behind UCLA, and they get to open up against Louisville, who outside of Murray State, second worst odds to win.
Yeah.
Feels like a decent matchup for them as well.
That's true.
I put my $100 on Arizona.
I mean, the path isn't bad for Arizona either, because like it's all about the path, right? Because the least amount of games you lose, the least number of arms you have to use. Like I don't hate that either.
Like I love Coastal, but
they got to face Oregon State.
That Coastal Oregon State is going to be a heavyweight bout. Like, that's going to be one of everybody's talking about LSU and Arkansas, and I get it.
Yeah.
But that game right there, that's quality baseball. That is going to be, I think, just a full 9-inning slugfest.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be some counter punching in that one.
So the pitching that's gonna be like a good pitching matchup. Oregon State and he's going out there.
Yeah.
And their team ERA is 3.20. They're good hitters. They got a team batting average of 289, but it's not what I don't think it's what got them here. Like their pitching is really like what I'm looking at and what has me confident in them. But I mean, yeah, that Oregon State matchup is going to be a tough one for them, but I just feel really good about them in that. I mean, I feel great about LSU. Like I have a really, really good feeling about, but something about Coastal, they feel hot to me.
I mean, Coastal's like one of those teams that I think if you're just kind of a common, like you only pay attention during the postseason, casual college baseball fan, like you're still thinking like mid-major.
Yeah.
When in fact the Sun Belt's a really good baseball conference. I think we all know that certainly here. But also like when you've had a run and you've gone and you've won a national championship.
Yeah.
Like that just gives you the ultimate belief. And it doesn't matter that none of those players were obviously there the last time they did it. But the fact that you have done it in your program history, you're like, well, why not us? We've won 53 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, Coastal's not a bad play here either.
Also, like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
They have, since they won in 2016, right? It's 2016. Yeah, 2016.
How's that long ago already?
Right. There was a gap between, like in 2017, they didn't make it to the tournament. And then they made it 2018, 2019, didn't make it for 2 years. And then since 2022, they've made the tournament every season since then. So, but the last like actual College World Series appearance that they had was in 2016. So they would always lose like in the regional. But still, like, that's a program that is pretty, I mean, you're making it into the postseason pretty much every season. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, and I did mention it is, I think I had that, it's Louisville, Oregon State, Arizona Coastal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said that backwards a little bit earlier, but even more so for Coastal in that one.
Yeah.
I was thinking the way the bracket matched up, but either way, like that portion of the bracket, that is going to be, I fully expect it, like Coastal and Oregon State to have some type of a battle at some point there in Omaha.
Well, if you remember, like back in 2016, the Coastal team, they play a lot like they did this year because that team like didn't have a ton of power hitters on it. They could just all get on base. They've only hit like 60, 65 home runs this year. Like not bad, not great. They're just teams that get on base. They're good on the base pass. They got good pitching. This is exactly how they were in 16.
That the top portion up there is it's not going to be as easy as people are making. Like bracket 1 is not going to be. I know everybody's talking about bracket 2 because LSU and Arkansas are in there, but going like whoever goes through there, you're going to have to go through Coastal or Oregon State, even if it's one of the other teams that we're talking about, like each other. It's going to be tough. It is not going to be just because all these top seeds got knocked out. Everybody thinks they know exactly how it's going to play out there, but looking at the schedule, it is Coastal Carolina, game 1 versus Arizona. That is going to be the first game. I believe that's a noon first pitch here locally, Central Time. You've got Oregon State and Louisville. That's going to be the nightcap. And then, of course, Game 3 is going to be the early game. It's going to be UCLA and Murray State, and then Arkansas and LSU. So a lot to break down, a lot to get to. I wrote Coach the old 30-minute warning. Hadn't heard back from old Jay. We'll call him. We'll see if Jay is ready to go. He's kind of got something going on right now, but we will see. He did confirm on, Tuesday night. I'm like, hey, Coach, I know Omaha's kind of different. We do Thursdays. We good? He said we're good. We'll call Coach Jay Johnson, LSU head baseball coach, when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
I go to BoudreauxElectrical.com. BoudreauxElectrical.com is the website where you can go get that free Generac quote. It is in the top right corner of the website. You go fill out the information, have them come out, look at your space, kind of give you an idea of what they can do for you. One thing I know that they can do for you is give you that ultimate peace of mind. Because during storm season, and it is a-coming, well, what do you worry about? Losing power, not having power for an extended period of time. But if you have that whole home generator from Boudreaux's, you know exactly what's going to happen when that power goes out. You're going to hear the generator. It's going to kick on immediately, and you're not going to miss a beat. It is going to be like every single day for you in your home. You got AC, refrigerator's going, take a hot shower, right? So like the ultimate peace of mind, even during hurricane season. More power, more protection. Go to the website today, BoudreauxElectrical.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
What you doing? Really? You know I'm coming over, right?
Now, baby, tell me what you want to do.
You got a high for me.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Give me 10 minutes. Be ready. Hey, where that little thing I like. Now, baby, tell me what you want to do.
It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Still trying to get with our guy, Jay Johnson. I knew when the 30-minute reminder didn't get answered, we might be in some trouble. We might have an issue. It's okay. We still got time. We got an hour and a half left. I know we got some guests coming up, but if it's like...
We can move stuff around.
We can move stuff around. If it's, even if it's at 9:15 and we keep it tight.
Yeah.
Keep our guests tight. Even if it's at 9:45, we'll see if we can get with Coach.
I'm not double calling, though.
No.
I'm not double calling Jay Johnson.
No.
Well, he's in Omaha. I would do it if he wasn't.
Yeah. This is what happens, when you try to over-prepare. Like on Tuesday, you're like, hey, 2 days from now, we're going to link back up. Are we good? It's like, yeah, send them the 30-minute reminder. It's like, maybe we just fly by the seat of our pants like T-Bob did and texting 5 minutes before.
Right.
That Jay used to always complain about.
He's not used to it.
It's okay. We'll find a way to talk with Jay Johnson. I'm confident in that. Again, Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Oregon State, Louisville, UCLA, Murray State, Arkansas, and LSU. And I was sitting there thinking, we always talk about how important it is to win the first game. That's for everybody. I guess an obvious statement. And for Arkansas and LSU to win that first game because of how, important it would be for their pitching matchup in game number 8 of the College World Series, which would be the winner's bracket. But look, it's baseball, so who knows what happens. But if I had to say a must-win game as much as Arkansas LSU would have to be UCLA Murray State.
Yeah. I
don't think either one of those teams wants to face Arkansas or LSU in the loser's bracket, knowing who they would put on the mound compared to who they would be able to throw out there. That feels as must-win as possible. Certainly, if you want to keep the Cinderella season alive for Murray State.
I'm trying to pull up the bracket.
I just printed it off because the one I was looking at was busted a little bit earlier. Oof. So I just went ahead and printed that thing off. A little old school. Sometimes technology can fail.
I don't love the way that brackets look on computers.
Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the problem with the NCAA's website, right? It's got on their actual website, when you look at it, it gets confusing because it has Oregon State and Coastal next to each other.
Yeah.
Arizona, Louisville next to each other, right? Which those teams aren't playing each other in the first round. But then it has Arkansas and LSU next to each other. They're playing, and UCLA, Murray State, they're playing.
Right.
And so this has got to be twice. I'll start talking about, oh yeah, that's their mess up on their website, the official NCAA website. So it does get kind of confusing. That's why, look, kids, don't hate on the old people.
No.
Just go print it off for you so you don't have to worry about technology. Can't wait for Coastal Oregon State, though, if that does happen.
That's going to be a really good matchup.
That is. The winner of that is going to be in the championship series. I fully believe that. The winner of if they meet up, whoever wins that first game, I truly believe they're going to be in the championship.
Well, it's funny. Everyone's talking about the bottom part of the bracket, and I get it, but it's always LSU, Arkansas, the two juggernauts of the sport. Top part of that bracket might be the more competitive bracket, in my opinion. Coastal, Arizona, Oregon State, Louisville, all 4 of those teams, they're good. They're better than they're getting credit for also. But yeah, I mean, the longer you can stay in that winner's bracket, the better you are off. And I agree. I like Oregon State, Coastal Carolina, but I don't know, man. That's a competitive side of the bracket. That's a part that a lot of people aren't talking about.
No, they're not, because you got the headliner. You have LSU, Arkansas. And again, even that's not just here. That Sirius XM, when we're breaking it all down, LSU, Arkansas, everybody wants to talk about it. No matter who comes on, they're all right, let's start there with that game. And I get it. I understand it. You're talking about two aces, massive programs and rivals and the whole, I get all of it. But I'm sure bracket 1's actually probably enjoying all that. Bracket 1 does have some heavy hitters there. Murray State is the 4th 4 seed to get to this point, to get to the College World Series. I think Oral Roberts was the last one.
In 23, right?
23 when LSU won it all. Do we know the only 4 seed to ever win it?
Yeah.
Alondra, do you know?
I don't.
You don't?
Is it
Not off
Fresno
the top
State?
of my head.
Fresno State.
Oh, that's right.
2008.
Yeah.
So the year before LSU wins it in 09. So, yeah, they entered the NCAA tournament as a 4 seed in the regional, and then they went, I believe it was Georgia. I think they beat Georgia in the College World Series final. So they remain the only 4 seed ever to win it. So
I believe they were the very last team. I believe they were the very last team in the tournament, like the last seed.
Yeah. So, again, like we talked about with Coastal, they've seen their team go do it. If you're Murray State, how many times do you think their coach, after he gets done mowing the grass, has talked to his team about Fresno State going to win it as a 4 seed? So it's always good, man. It's always good to, like, if you're trying to motivate your team, motivate your program, to be able to have, like, hey, this has happened before, it can't happen again. So, and again, that Murray State UCLA game, that is going to be game number 3. That will be Saturday at noon. So, all right, we are going to catch up with the head coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers, boots on the ground there in Omaha. Coach, we truly always appreciate your time, but certainly while you're trying to get ready for the College World Series. And so thanks for hopping on. And how was traveling yesterday? How's it been so far?
It's always the best travel day of the year, that's for sure. Got here and got over to the stadium and took that in for a minute, and then went right to practice. So kind of back to business as usual, and looking forward to a good day today.
So, Coach, you have had players that have been there before, and they've been in that moment. But what was it like for the players, like you watching them walk into that stadium for the first time? Because that's one of the great things about college baseball is everybody knows where the championship is going to be played. And so you know that it's in the back of your mind and you can visualize yourself there. It's not like football and basketball where it rotates, you know, to different cities, different venues. What was it like for you to kind of see those guys for the first time that hadn't been there before?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And there's 8 players, you know, that were on that team in 2023, and everybody else, it's their first time. And, you know, they've worked hard. And I said this a few times last week, like, this team deserved to be here whether we won 2 games or not last weekend. And so for me, if there was any kind of pressure, that was it. I felt like this team earned their way to Omaha by how they did everything, you know, on a daily basis through the fall, winter, early spring, and then obviously the season. So it was pretty awesome, you know, to stand on the dugout step, watch them walk out there and walk a lap around the field on a warning track, take pictures, and you know, and then also we talked about, you know, take it in and see yourself here, because this is where it's on, and it's back to baseball on Saturday.
And we all know how it's going to go down on Saturday. You got the primetime game against a team that you know very well. And, Coach, one of the things I always am intrigued by is the way that you prepare for your opponent. I really, like, you take, like, a football coach approach. Like, you're always watching tape. Like, nothing is going to be, you know, not looked at and not evaluated in your process getting ready for your game plan there. And you know this team incredibly well. Like, you just played this Arkansas team a month ago. So when you're preparing for this game, you have that to lean on. But, like, is there like a fine line of, okay, let's don't lean on that experience too much, even though it was just 4 weeks ago? Like, let's also make sure that we're watching the regional, the super regional, and taking that information just as much as we take our series against them?
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of have a rule when you play a team a second time or play them in the postseason is, like, start over and do it like you haven't played them before. And, you know, young people change a lot today, you know, let alone 4 weeks ago. And then the other factor is those games were played at our stadium, you know, and that's a different animal. And I know that, obviously, because the support we get. The other part is when we go on the road, things are much tougher. Like, that's just the reality of it. So, you know, there's some things that I did go back and watch that series, at least from our pitchings that are hitting, you know, to look at some things, but really, really focused on their last 4 games that they've played.
Yeah, Coach, and we've talked about kind of the, you know, what the pitching matchups probably are going to look like. And when you're a hitter and you're going back, and let's say that it is, Zach Reed's going to be on the mound for Arkansas, how do you study film as a hitter? I'm always curious like that. Okay, well, he got me out with that pitch last time, and in my mind, he's going to go back to that pitch, but maybe he's going to think that I'm thinking that, and he's going to throw a different pitch. The mind games of being in the batter's box against a pitcher like that, a very talented pitcher. How do you tell your guys to maybe look at film when they're watching that of a guy that they've faced before who is a really talented pitcher?
Yeah, I think, familiarity is good on that side. Yeah. Because when something comes out of his hand, maybe you recognize it a little bit sooner. And that's where the advantage lies. As far as sitting on pitches and guessing, if you start guessing against a guy of Zach Root or Kate Anderson's caliber, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to end up with 25. You're going to end up in the worst blackjack odds casino in Vegas or something like that. So it's just about seeing the ball, eliminating pitches, getting your pitch to hit, taking balls, battling with 2 strikes, make it hard on him. And it's a tough place to score runs too. That's another element of this game that's very intriguing with 2 really good pitchers going. So I think the other focus is we got to be ready to win a close game.
Well, speaking of a close game, I think there's obviously some pitchers that all season long you've brought in those situations to close out a game. But if we go back a week, you didn't have to use those pitchers. Zach Cowan, Kason Evans. Coach, if I would have told you would have swept the series in a super regional and neither one of those guys has to toe the rubber, I would assume you would be pretty surprised.
Surprised, happy, and for, maybe that meant that the scores were, kind of what they were, where you had a little breathing room. The other thing, too, is that's an interesting deal to manage because you have to protect yourself of a third game as well. Now, we had a real plan with how we were going to use those guys in game 2. And Cooper Williams came in and did a great job to help us, really, really close the gap between Anthony and the end of the game. And, Chase was throwing 120 miles an hour and they weren't seeing it. So we kind of rode that out. So,
Coach, Chase Shores, Electric City when he came in, you could feel it in the stadium. I always say this, if you could bottle up that energy and sell it, you could name your price on it. It was, it was incredible, and you could feel it throughout the stadium. And he's already a large human. He looked like he was 8 foot tall out there on the mound. And I was joking yesterday, in youth baseball, trying to get him to throw strikes, hey, fingers in the mitt. I'm I think he actually could put his fingers in the mitt. He looks so intimidating out there, and that's a player that you and I have talked about, right? He's coming back from a major injury, and so a lot of times it's we got the meathead mindset of, okay, he's back, so he needs to be where he was before he got injured. It's just not that easy, right? And that's just a player we can see each and every time he goes out there, gaining more confidence, more belief that, his arm is where it's supposed to be, Coach, because, he came in and the confidence that he had, it was incredible.
Yeah, one thing we talk a lot about is with the players is use your experience well. And he had a tough outing in the regional, and, he used that well. I could tell all week he was locked in and ready to go. And, there was one way, that performance was going to go whenever I gave him the ball, whether it was earlier in the game or at the end of the game like that. And, like I said, I kind of had a plan laid out of how we were going to use those other guys you mentioned. And then it was let's let big man finish this out. And I'm happy for him and proud of him because he's a big part of this. That's one of the first big recruits that we got when I got the job here. And, he's persevered through that injury. He was a great team guy, even though he was hurt when we won the national championship. He worked hard in his rehab. He cares about succeeding for the team a lot. And that was a great way for that super regional to finish up with him on the mound.
Catching up with LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson here on OTB. Coach, one of the things about Omaha is you don't know how long you're going to be there, and you know how it goes because y'all went all the way. Obviously, just a couple of years ago, you won the whole thing. You played the maximum amount of games. As a coach, though, when you don't know that situation, how do you make sure that your team and everybody around the team stays in the moment and doesn't worry about how long you're going to be there or start to look ahead to what possibly could happen?
Well, I think, it's kind of how we train them on on a yearly basis, if you will. Like, this pitch, this game's the Game 7 of the World Series or part of the 56-game playoff. And the quality of the teams here catch your attention. And so I don't think that's really necessarily a thing, and that's certainly the case with the first game. And really excited about that. But every team here is a championship team. So, and then, I always feel like things wherever I can. And, that movie Hoosiers, where Gene Hackman, he's talking about tournament play. Like, you can't talk about the next step till you've climbed the one in front of you.
Right.
Like, all those things are really real. We've talked a lot about, like, hey, man, there's a lot of cool things that come along with being here, and I want you to enjoy those and then have the maturity and self-discipline to switch the mindset, when it's time to prepare and it's time to execute. And I have full trust in our team to be able to do that.
Can't wait to watch it, Coach. I mean, it is going to be in prime time. It's going to be against teams that know each other. It's going to be teams from the best conference in college baseball, and it's got star power all over the place. And it is going to be an electric environment, as you well know. So, Coach, we can't thank you enough. I mean, all season long, but certainly in Omaha, getting ready for a national championship run. Thanks for hopping on with us.
All right. Have a great day.
All right, you as well. Jay Johnson, LSU head baseball coach, good enough to join us here every single Thursday during baseball season, even when his team is in Omaha. All right, we will take a break, kind of recap some of what Jay said there to close out hour number 2 of OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to GoTommies.com, G-E-A-U-X, Tommies.com for Tommy's windows, doors, and siding, the best in Baton Rouge. That is not just us telling you that. That is the Advocate, right? They won Best Windows 2025 in the Advocate, award-winning team over there at Go Tommies. They just continue to stack it up, the trophy case. Eventually, they're going to have to build a new one, which they could probably get done because, I mean, I tell you all the time, if you check out like the gallery of work, they've done something similar. If they haven't, they can go ahead and do it because they can customize your job. But, man, it is so fun working with Tommy and the team. I mean, you know what kind of people you're going to get. I mean, Tommy, member of the Golden Band from Tigerland. How could you not fully get behind that? The quality of work, the quality of people, the quality of everything over when you work with Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Go Tommies.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
Yeah.
2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn, Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
I mean, yeah, purple and gold is for sure. I take 99%, but like there's some 1% that's still like powder blue. You know,
you got the bolts on the back screen.
I know.
Did they mean like purple and gold LSU gold?
Or maybe it's purple and gold, so it's a tie of purple and gold, and then gold and powder blue together.
Yeah.
The gold stands for both. I mean,
True.
You know, Chargers gave me a lot of money. LSU didn't pay me anything, unfortunately. I didn't get like a $20 handshake. Didn't get any NIL money either. The NIL settlement only goes back to 2016, so, you know.
I know. I saw that the other day, and I was like, man.
I don't care because I finished up in 07, a long time ago. If I was 2015, I'd be salty. Super salty. But great stuff by Jay Johnson there. Look, LSU's going to be ready to play. Nobody prepares like that guy. Loved all his answers like I always do. I mean, I'm telling you, he is the closest thing that we have to Nick Saban in a college baseball coach. Like, that is Jay Johnson. And that is the highest compliment that I think I can give anybody. So looking forward to watching the Tigers play and looking forward to Ryan McGee, SEC Network, when we hop back.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to KTZBlinds.com. That's KTOZBlinds.com. KTZ Interiors and Outdoor Living. They've been doing it, speaking of a long time ago, since my freshman year in college, 2004. And you do not thrive like they have for that long unless you're doing things, you guessed it, the right way. Brandon Barton and the team do everything the right way, man. And the cool thing about them is they care about your space. They care about your home. They care about making your space better. So when they come in, like, you don't even have to really have a plan in place because they kind of take care of all that. They look at your home and say, okay, this would benefit you. And they lay it out for you. They give you that plan. They give you what they would do for your space. I was blown away. They came in, they did it for me. I mean, I cannot tell you how much we love our outdoor motorized shade from them. It has been a game changer for our entire home. KTZBlinds.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Thursday, June 12th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 88. In hour 3 of today's show, Ryan McGee of ESPN and SEC Network joins the show. And then at 9:30, country music star Justin Moore. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
From carrying each other to a natty to carrying each other on the air.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3, OTB 1045, ESPN Baton Rouge. Going to catch up here with Ryan McGee, ESPN SEC Network here in hopefully a couple of minutes, and going to continue to break down the matchups there in Omaha. But one of the things Ryan does such a fantastic job of is really painting the picture and doing a deep dive into the details of like wherever he's going, whatever he's covering there. So looking forward to that, and let's go ahead and get into it now. Ryan McGee, my guy, joins the show. What's up, sir? How we doing?
We're good. We're busy, but busy's good, and it's time to get on with it, man. It's I spend, I'm really fortunate. I got this ridiculous work calendar, and everybody else does Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, whatever. I do National Championship, Daytona 500, Indy 500, Omaha. So it's time to get on with it.
Absolutely, man. And you just dropped another great article, Road to Omaha, how the Men's College World Series became a town's pride and joy. It's on ESPN.com now. Go check that out. And one of the reasons, man, Ryan, I wanted to have you on because you do such a great job of just detailing and explaining like what this event means to Omaha. And you just laid out like what you get to do. And look, you and I are very fortunate we get to do very, very cool stuff like that. But like Omaha, when you go there, like it does feel different. Like it feels like a place that is special. It feels like everybody there is just so happy to be there. Where would you put Omaha in all the experiences that you get to have throughout the sports calendar? Where would you place Omaha kind of in the pecking order there?
Man, it's tough. But just personally, like emotionally, it's my favorite event.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, I grew up, you know this, I grew up in the Triangle, North Carolina, Raleigh. And, that's a college area. And so I grew up, and my dad played college baseball at East Carolina.
Yep.
And so I grew up going to college baseball games at NC State and UNC and, East Carolina, Wake Forest, Duke. And there'd be 15 people there. It'd be me, my dad, my brother, like some girlfriends of the players, and a couple scouts. That's it.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here watching Duke and North Carolina Super Regionals. And so I would just, I would hear about Alex Box Stadium, and I would see, obviously Rosenblatt Stadium on ESPN, and it all just felt so giant.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad and I first got to go to the College World Series together 25 years ago, and it was Father's Day weekend. It was perfect. And so I wasn't there working. I was there as a fan. And my dad and I went several years in a row, and I've been almost every year since and getting paid for it. And it just feels different. I mean, LSU fans know that because they're a huge part of it. And, which is just, it's like homecoming. It really is. You go there, and if you've been once or if you've been 20 times, like LSU has, the guy at the hotel, right? And the bus driver, and the people at the drover or the steakhouse, and it's people at the stadium. It's homecoming, and that's why I love it so much.
And not a lot of times, can you survive, changing things up when you have an event like Omaha? But there was a new stadium, and I remember being worried, oh man, Rosenblatt was so iconic, and all my childhood memories of watching and Warren Morris and the home run against Miami. Are you going to lose that? They've done a really nice job, Ryan, of still being able to keep that same magic, even though they're in, a newer kind of state-of-the-art facility there, which is not always easy to do.
No, and the first couple of years was tough.
Yeah.
They turned the stadium for this beautiful view of the city, but the problem is the wind blows in that way.
Right.
And so there's no home runs. And, in the ballpark's very, Rosenblatt was quirky, but this too, man. When, Rosenblatt was the best. I miss it. I have a seat in my house. I go up to the site. If folks don't know, you can go to the Rosenblatt site, and there's home plates there. Warren Morris's, right field foul pole still there. It's all still there in the parking lot, and it's great. But I was worried about the new ballpark, and the first couple of years went great. But now the neighborhood has grown in around the ballpark.
Yep.
And, downtown Omaha has become really what 13th Street, the area around Rosenblatt, used to be. And so we've grown into the place, and now it's got its moment, right? I mean, the LSU Wake Forest game in the semifinals, 3 years, that's the best game I've ever been to in my life. Well, maybe the best sporting I've ever been to. And so now it has these moments, and it has its champions, and it has all these things. And so it's grown up. But I was worried about it too, and quite frankly, so were the people of Omaha. People of Omaha, they want to build that stadium. The NCAA was like, you either build a new stadium or we're out.
Right.
And so to the mayor's credit at the time, even though he just got crushed by the public, it was the right thing to do. And now, we all still call it the new ballpark, and that thing opened in 2011. Right. I mean, it's got almost a decade and a half in. So
you can almost drive legally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love the fact that it's in the same spot every year, and we cover events like the national championship, and I'm not going to call names, but there's some places that it feels more of, hey, I am here for the national championship. There's some places we go to, and it's like, does anybody in this town know that the national championship is being played in this stadium coming up in a couple of days, right? But I think when you have it in this, I don't want to say it's not a small town. Omaha's not a small town, but you know what I'm saying. It's like this town that cares so deeply about having this event, and they cater everything to this event, right? Oklahoma City does it for the Women's College World Series.
Yep.
I understand moving things around, the dollars and cents of it, but Ryan, when something is constant and it's there and the people care so much about it, even if you don't have a dog in the fight, you can go to that event and you can appreciate everything that's put into the event.
75 years that it's been in Omaha, which is crazy. But listen, the greatest sporting events in my mind are the ones where you can't separate the city or the town from the event and vice versa.
Yep.
So, you can't imagine the Rose Bowl anywhere other than Pasadena. You can't imagine the Masters anywhere but Augusta. You can't imagine, it's the Indianapolis 500. It's the Daytona 500, right? I mean, so when you can't separate it, it's important. And that's why I think that it won't ever move. And part of the reason for that is the people of the NCAA, they love it as much as the people in Omaha. I remember I wrote my New York Times worst-selling book, back in 2009, The Road to Omaha. And one of the whole chapters was the insurance man and the Pope. And it was Denny Pope, who was the baseball administrator for the NCAA forever, a great football player in Missouri. And then it was, Jack Deasing, whose father founded the hometown corporation that runs the Omaha side of the College World Series, and now he runs it, and one day his daughter will run it.
Yeah.
And they're like brothers. Their kids babysat each other. And so it's just family. It's the best way to describe it. And I don't think that's, even though it's definitely more corporate and it's definitely downtown versus being in the meat packer neighborhood where it used to be at Rosenblatt, it still has that feeling. And you can't separate them. You can't imagine one without the other. And listen, we're living in this wacko time where money runs everything. I get it. But I think that's part of why, even if you don't have a team in the series, you go, because it kind of taps into what we all love about college sports. It's one of the last places left, like Oklahoma City in the Women's College World Series, one of the last places where you go and you're like, all right, this is what college sports is supposed to feel like.
Right. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you, and it's one of the many things that makes it special. Like another part of the College World Series that I always enjoy. And look, if LSU's in it, come on, I'm not going to act like I'm not rooting for my Tigers, but also when a team like Murray State makes it, and we've seen teams make runs before. I mean, Fresno State finished the deal in 2008. Coastal Carolina, the run that they go on. I mean, it's one of the best parts about college baseball is because we get these Cinderella teams that just get hot and they find a way, and they're throwing 88 on the mound and not 96, but it's working for them, and they got the ultimate belief. Like this Murray State team, I know that you have to, kind of enjoy kind of getting ready to cover them. I mean, the coach is still mowing his own grass. He was only making 2 years ago $68,000 to be the head baseball coach there. And even with the bump in pay he got, it is not even a fraction of what some of these other coaches are making. Like, what a great story Murray State is. And Murray State's had moments in other sports, but for the first time, their baseball program gets to the College World Series.
And it's perfect that in this 75th anniversary of the series in Omaha that Murray State's in. Because if you know your history of the series, there's almost always one team.
Yep.
I mean, almost every – last year was all SEC versus all ACC. And that's fine. And it's certainly great for business if you're the co-host of Marty McGee, right? I mean, but I kind of was sad because you want – but almost every single year, right? Stony Brook just a couple years ago. Fans to this day talk about when the Citadel made it and upset the number one team in the nation in the College World Series. And that was 30, 40 years ago. And so, I mean, you go back to the history of it, and it's Maine and Hawaii and Harvard and, even Southern Miss, who's always had a great baseball program and had never made it to Omaha. There's always one, almost every single year. And so I was glad Murray State made it, and I hope they make a little noise. And, I don't root against teams. I stay neutral. But there was, and I got a lot of friends who work at Duke, but there was definitely a part of me that wanted Murray State to win that game Monday night just because I wanted an underdog at the College World Series.
And I'm right there with you. It's like I got nothing against Duke. I'm the same way. Like I know people that work there and in different athletic departments, but it's like, how do you not root for what Murray State's trying to do right now in the path, Ryan, that they went through? I mean, not just Ole Miss and Oxford. I mean, Georgia Tech had a real case to be a regional host as well, and they go through them. I mean, they were not given anything too, which makes it even, that much better, I think, in the fact that who they had to go through, they earned the right to be there. Yeah,
there's no question about it. And they you can't take the road they're taking. It's funny talking to my friends down at Ole Miss. They were all rooting for Murray State because the team that you lose to, you want them to at least make it to Omaha, right? You don't want to lose to them and then they go to Duke and get swept. And so, but that's the beauty of it. And man, let's tell you something. Yeah, I understand there are people that are kind of got their nose been out of shape because it's LSU and Arkansas in the first round and the only two SEC teams. But dude, Saturday night, in Omaha, and you giving all those to me, the two most fun ballparks in the nation to go see a game are Baum Walker and Fayetteville and the Box.
Yep.
And now you take those fans and you put them all in a bunch of pickup trucks and drive them to Omaha, and you give them all day to get lubricated. And now we're going to play a baseball game. It's going to be. I'm so mad because I don't go till next week. I always go in for the second half.
Yeah, right. It's a long trip. Yeah.
Yeah, but so the one year I convinced them to let me go for the opening weekend a few years ago. The morning I left was the morning that North Carolina State popped every COVID test in the state of Nebraska, and so I was like, so I'm stuck in North Carolina. So they were like, no, you're going for the championship. But the atmosphere on Saturday night is going to be off the charts, and this will not be the last time that these two teams play in this tournament.
I'm right there with you. I actually just got chills thinking about it. Like, I would be in that number. That number is going to be loud. It is going to be I think I agree with you. I think, like, you throw Mississippi State in there, like, whatever rotation you want, 3 best fan bases in college football, 2 of them playing against each other, rivals. I mean, opening, night for them in the College World Series, prime time. Oh, my gosh, that is going to be an electric atmosphere there. Any other games, any other teams kind of catching your interest there? Because I can't get away from Coastal Carolina, even though they have already won a national championship. They're on the scene. They have turned themselves into a blue blood of college baseball for as much as you possibly can. Right? You win a national championship, you're consistent. I'm going to give you that title, but something still feels like little disrespect whenever Coastal's brought up because they play in the Sun Belt. People don't understand. It's a really good baseball conference. And so Coastal's a team, too, that you win over 50 games. I think that's a team in bracket number 1 to eye hustle a little bit.
They haven't lost in a month.
Yeah,
There's a last day baseball game in a month. And Schnall, so Coach Schnall, who was a catcher there and played for – so for folks that don't know, I wrote a huge story about him a year ago, but Gary Gilmore was the head coach at Coastal. He's the one that led them to the national championship in 2016. And Coach Gilmore retired at the end of last season, during the NCAA tournament, battling 2 different forms of cancer simultaneously. One of the all-time great guys I've ever known in college sports. And he called Coach Schnall and said, I need you to come home and take over this program. And all he did is get into the College World Series in his first year. And he was so chippy last weekend after they clinched their spot, saying, this team is not a Cinderella. Right. Everybody needs to get over that. Because the reality was, I thought they should have been a top 8 seed.
Yep.
I really did believe that. Kyle Peterson and I said that on our pre-tournament special on ESPN. We said, I don't understand why they're not a top 8 seed, a national seed. And so for them to be there is not a surprise if you actually follow college baseball. But it's a great story. And I'm not going to lie and tell you that I've watched a lot of Oregon State baseball this year. But this is a team that's won 3 national championships, in this century. And they have 4 or 5 guys with double-digit home runs. And they have, their shortstop's probably going to be the highest-picked college baseball player in the draft next month. So there is so much talent in this thing. And all right, to that point, too, you have Oregon State, you have Arizona, and you have UCLA all in the College World Series. They were all in the Pac-12, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it just adds to the frustration
I know
for the entire West Coast of what are we doing?
Right.
And you got one team in Oregon State that's in the Pac-2, that's about to become a bigger conference. It's so weird seeing them play with that big Pac-12 logo on their backstop. And then you got UCLA, who's has a chance to win the Big Ten's first College World Series since 1966. And then you got Arizona, who's an Omaha blue blood, and they're playing out of the Big 12. It's just, I just don't see how the Pac-12 people sleep at night because they have just burned this thing to the ground, and they could be dominating the College World Series this year.
You're exactly. I mean, they would have 3 teams in it. It is, man, Oregon State story, and them. They have been left lonely on the dance floor because at least those other teams did find a major conference to go to. I mean, Oregon State playing an independent schedule, that's in football. It's difficult, but you can find a way to find some games. Obviously, Notre Dame's done it for a long time. UConn's going through it right now. But once conference play starts in baseball, those teams are playing, but they had to find somebody that might happen to be off, and they had to go to them. They played 78% of their games on the road as a national blue blood college baseball program. That's just wild to me.
No, they made it work, and I give them a lot of credit. Them and Washington State both in every sport of putting this thing together while they are they're also overseeing this this reconstruction of the Pac-12. But but for folks that don't know, forever the College World Series was dominated by the Pac back then, the Pac-8 even,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
the
yeah.
West Coast Conference originally, and it was, USC still holds the record for the most titles. They haven't won one in a long time, but they still hold the record. Arizona, Arizona State, Cal State, Fullerton, all these California schools, Pepperdine, Stanford. California and Arizona dominated the College World Series, no matter what conference they were from, for decades. And so it always makes me a little sad when there's this big map that's in the what they call the baseball village next to the ballparks, all the souvenir stands and beer gardens and all that stuff. But there's this big map that shows where every one of the 8 schools of that year's series is from. And again, it's great for me. It's great for Marty and McGee when the SEC dominates the lineup, but I don't think it's great for college baseball. And when I look at that map and it's got 3 or 4 teams from west of the Mississippi, that's great for the sport. And this year that map is the most evenly distributed that it has been in a really, really long time. And again, it's not great for the SEC co-host of the show, it's me, but it's pretty good for college baseball as a whole occasionally.
Right. I am right there with you. I totally agree. This year, it feels right. All right, he is Ryan McGee, good enough to join us. ESPN, SEC Network, Marty and McGee, does it all. Also, ESPN.com, Road to Omaha, how the Men's College World Series became a town's pride and joy is on there now. It is a must-read. Go check it out. Ryan, man, we always appreciate the time. Look forward to our next conversation.
All right, appreciate you, buddy. See you later.
All right, there is Ryan McGee, good enough to join us here. And Ryan is so good at going somewhere like Omaha and just really telling the story of where he's at and what it means and the people that make something like this happen every single year. So go check his article out. Again, it just dropped earlier this morning on ESPN.com. All right, we will take a break. We do have country music superstar Justin Moore set to join us in 10 minutes from now. Going to go ahead and let you know he is a Razorback. He is an Arkansas fan. He has promised not to call the Hogs on the interview. We'll see if he gets that done. More OTB when we come back your way.
Off the bench.
All right, good All-Star, not store. Hadn't heard that in a couple of days. I don't know what's going on. Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting. Every single thing is available. And it's not just lip service. I mean, this is factual. Right now is the best time to check out those rentals because you got a lot of different options, a lot of different ways that you can go, a lot of different trips that you can plan. It is summer vacation. If you're going to the beach, if you're going to that big tournament, softball, baseball, 7-on-7, trying to think what sports are in season right now, whatever it is, right? You got the end of the year tournaments. So maybe you need something a little bit bigger. If you're going to Omaha, I mean, go get a Tundra, go get a Tacoma, right? Because you got all the tailgating stuff in the back. I mean, it is a perfect time to call Miss Lisa Sessions today in that rental department. All-Star. ToyotaBanders.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. Whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports.
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge. You can keep that going in background lounge if you want. Inside the Bayou 4 chat, let us know what the bet should be. Justin Moore hopping on with us. Obviously, big country music star. Good friend of mine. Hosted radio with him. I mean, the guy's locked in, like knows sports and certainly the SEC as well as anybody. So he gets the game, is my point. Like, he gets what it means to root for your team. I mean, I'm thinking the one y'all laid out earlier, I think it was Alondra. Nice job. Him wearing an LSU shirt to one of his concerts.
Yeah, or
jersey. Or jersey. Hey, we can send him an 18 or a 15.
Yeah.
He can wear either one of us. Or, gosh, or like who broke Arkansas's heart like one time, or somebody like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would be like a deep cut of somebody, Jarvis Landry, that catch he had?
I mean, Flynn, kind of.
Well,
I don't know about heartbreak.
Yeah, Flynn
but
lost that game.
Flynn lost because he was in the locker room getting shot up.
30-yard Hail Mary.
Actually, that wasn't Flynn's fault. We couldn't stop a nosebleed that game. Not bitter about it. I think Jarvis Landry might be a good one. Remember
Jarvis
that catch he had? That was a good
So Jarvis had two.
Tyron.
Jarvis had two catches.
Tyron in 11 had a big game.
Tyron was good.
We'll come up with it. I've got to, at SEC Media Days, sit there with an Arkansas shirt on and call the Hogs.
Anthony Jennings. He thought he had the game
like one
won.
pass, right?
Met gets hurt. He goes in there. He hits Traven Durrell to win it. Yeah. It was 2013.
That was Matt.
That was Matt's last year.
Wait,
that was his
what
last
year?
game.
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
ACL?
Yeah. Tore it right there. It was actually
Anthony Jennings.
Okay, remember the catch that Jarvis had over that DB?
Yeah.
It was that play.
Yeah. Justin did just reach out to me. He's going to have to do phone instead of video.
Boo.
He said, I just went to grab my computer and it's on my tour bus. Not at the house.
Dang.
All good, though. All good. Looking forward to our conversation with him.
You know, our guy, Gold Chain Cowboy, Parker McCullough.
Yeah.
He didn't even need a bet to wear an LSU jersey on stage. He just wore one.
Did he?
Yeah, and I love it.
Oh, what jersey did he
him,
wear? Who'd he go with?
I don't remember what number it was, but it was a baseball jersey. And it was a couple years ago when he was here in Baton Rouge, and we went to go see him, and he was wearing an LSU jersey on stage. It was great.
Because he's a Texas fan, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'm going to see if I can find this picture of Parker McCollum in the LSU baseball jersey.
Yeah. I have
It's
one.
a purple one. I don't really
purple.
see the number there, but we're going to come up with some bet here during the break. We are going to reach out to our guy, Justin Moore. We're just going to do video. It's all right. Still going to have him on the phone. And look, we can make a bet, be it audio or video. That doesn't matter. So looking forward to that conversation. We'll have that for you when we jump back here. It is OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to trashrangers.com. Trashrangers.com is the website, and you go there, and you can sign up for residential service, sign up for commercial service, sign up for those roll-off dumpsters, all right there at the bottom of the website. Now, one of the things that we want to make sure you know about them is they are going to simplify your trash disposal. They are going to, make sure you don't have any hidden fees. Reliable weekly service. Like, even if there's a holiday, like, they're going to find a way to schedule a pickup that week. They're not going to make you go 2 weeks without a trash pickup. Also, text reminders. Guys and gals, how many times have you been in trouble because you forgot to put the trash out? Trash Rangers does not allow that to happen. You're going to get that text reminder. Hey, my guy, go put out the trash. Just another great service you get from them. Give them a call today, 225-363-9053. Always online at trashrangers.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Let me talk to you, tell you how it is. I was thinking when I saw that body, gotta get shorty, tell her what the young boy gon' do.
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Very excited for our next conversation. Good friend of mine, somebody I've co-hosted a show with over on Sirius XM. It is country music superstar Justin Moore. Good enough to join us here down in Louisiana. Justin, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Doing fantastic. I'm getting excited about Omaha. I know you are as well. Of course, you know, our teams are going to meet up Saturday night, prime time. I mean, how we feeling? Like, we got to get a perspective from, like, the other side of the table. How we feeling for the Hogs heading into Omaha?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a travesty. I think baseball is my favorite sport. I don't know if you and I have discussed that or not, but and I love the format's great. I'm fine with that, but I think we need to reseed after the Supers because what I'm saying is a travesty in my opinion. I think LSU and Arkansas are the best two teams in the field. That's my opinion, at least. So for them to have to face each other, game one, be on the same side of the bracket, I think is a tough draw for both of us, really. You know, it's just kind of unlucky. Plus, man, we played an SEC team for the Supers too, so I'm like, good night. Can we please get out of the SEC?
That's a great
but
point.
No, man, I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, both teams I think are playing really good ball right now. I think you guys would probably have the edge, in my opinion, in pitching, especially starting pitching and probably closing pitching. We've got a lengthy bullpen, but you never know. You know, Zach Root, who'll start against you guys, is our ace. And, man, when he's good, he's really, really good. But he's been somewhat inconsistent, you know, over the course of the year. But I would probably give the edge to our lineup, but not by much. I mean, I just think we may be a little longer in our lineup, maybe 7 through 9. But man, it'll be a great game, and I hope it's a great game at least.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be that, and you're right, Justin. I didn't even think about that. Like, you go through another SEC team in Super Regionals, and you want to talk about, like, Zach Root's somebody that's, you know, an incredible guy on the mound. It doesn't always have, like, the most emotion, but he had all the emotion against Tennessee. Like, that series, like, obviously with Tony V and Dave Van Horn, the history there, and Tony V's at Arkansas for a long time. It's been chirpy over the last couple of years. I mean, that was a series where Arkansas wanted to, like, show their dominance in a big way.
Yeah, you know, the first game was a really good game. I think it was 4-3, and it really could have gone either way. And their catcher, they were starting a backup catcher due to an ejection the game before, and I think we scored on a pass ball that maybe their starter don't have that pass ball, which he had a pretty tough game in game 2. But then in game 2, man, we just we had a couple balls fly out of the park. Maybe one of them shouldn't have. Kind of back spun out to left, and the wind was blowing out a little bit, and so it was good. But like you said, that's been a chirpy series. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago. Coach Vitello and DVH got into it pretty hardcore on the field.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, they're totally fine, I'm sure, but the fans never forgot it. In other words, and you know, the way Tennessee plays ball, they've been great under Tony, obviously, and supremely talented, but they can be a little bush league, you know, with the bat.
You can say it. Hey, we're here in Baton Rouge. You're not gonna lose any fans saying that about Tennessee.
Yeah, they're you know, I just don't personally like the way they play the game. I just personally don't. But so that's kind of, I think, what happened as far as Root going off on. They call him Fish. I forget, is Fisher, I think, is his name. Who's a great player, but a little bit of a smart ass, you know. And I think he gave it to Root, and then Root gave it back to him. So, or vice versa. I don't know who started it, but it was.
Well, Root finished it, but whoever started it, he finished it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
How's everybody feeling down there? I mean, I think we're going into it as a whole. We're like, yeah, we got as good a chance as anybody, but, you know, we've been so heartbroken over the years when we thought we had really good well, we did have really good teams. It's just hard to win out there.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, I think we can do it, you know.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's like
until we actually get over that hump,
Exactly.
you know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I asked you a question and I started talking again. How are you guys feeling?
That's what I was going to say. Like until you've finally do it, there's probably always going to be that feeling. And certainly Arkansas, I mean, they've been a pop-up away from winning a national championship. But I think LSU fans probably feel like Arkansas fans. Like it is a very tough matchup. It's two teams that know each other incredibly well. And I don't know that there's ever been, like you always want to win in Omaha, obvious. But I don't think there's ever been a more point of emphasis, got to win this game, because a lot of us, just like you, think that this is a matchup between the two best teams. And if you win this one, man, it really sets you up for a nice path. And then the other team's got to come out of the losers bracket. Now, it's been done before. The last time LSU won a national championship, Justin, it was out of the losers bracket. But I don't remember like such a point of emphasis, my goodness, you win this one, like what that feeling would feel like and how good of a spot you would feel like you're in, because this just feels like the two best teams. It's not just us saying it. It's not you saying it. It's Vegas saying it. I mean, it is no doubt Arkansas, LSU, the two clear favorites here in Omaha, because after that, there's a big drop-off before you get to Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I've said it, I don't even know if I've talked to you about it, but I do a radio show in Little Rock with David Basil.
Oh, yeah.
Who I know you know.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I jumped off our show to jump on with you guys. I told Baz, I said, I'm going to talk to Hester. He goes, you tell him to back off. So maybe we can get you on our show.
Absolutely.
After the game, maybe next week or something. But I think you're right. But I've said this on our show. I think this is the first of two games that LSU and Arkansas play, regardless of who wins and who loses this game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the same thing. I think these teams have to go through the other one another time, and that's going to be maybe even more of an intriguing matchup, because who knows what the pitching is going to be like, and that's why like winning that first one just feels so important. But I do have to say, Justin, so throughout the show, so we're also like on YouTube, we're on TV, and so we have interaction with like a little chat during this show, and they're always great. Interactions have been through the roof. Today, trying to come up with a bet for us, for you and I, to come up with a bet. Now, we got some time to work it out, but the best one that I've seen so far today, and I know you've got a couple of shows coming up. I know you're going to be in Minnesota here coming up, and so maybe it's not right now. Maybe we see who ends up going, the farthest down the road in the College World Series. But the best one I've seen is if LSU wins and moves on, you got to wear an LSU shirt, jersey at one of your shows for at least like a song. And then if Arkansas wins, I've got to wear an Arkansas shirt at SEC Media Days and also call the Hogs.
Wow. Yeah, that's it's going to be brutal for either one.
Look, I mean, I know your wife's family has, some LSU gear they can send. Look, we'll send you the gear if we have to. I mean, I know it's laying around the house there at your in-law. Like somebody's got an LSU shirt they can send you.
Yeah, likewise. My wife, I think I talked about it last time I was on with you. But yeah, my wife's from Houma, and so over the years there's been a lot of trash talk between us. Now, at the time we started dating, which was 23 years ago, our football program was winning a few more games. And so we haven't had a whole lot of stuff to talk trash about over the past few years, except for a couple of seasons. But yeah, man, it's always fun to give it to each other. I think that's what, to me, college sports are kind of makes them so fun. And I mean, you and I are on opposing sides and good friends at the same time. So
right.
To me, that's kind of what makes the sport so fun, and why everybody invests so much into it, and emotion wise. And so yeah, it's a good time. And so are you going to Omaha?
So if they make it to the championship series is when we're thinking we're going to try to get up there. With the afternoon Sirius XM show, like trying to figure out how to get there, how to do both shows is a little tricky. But we said if they make it to the final series, then we are going to drop whatever we've got going on and find a way up there.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly my deal. I've got to play shows, unfortunately, this weekend, and then let's see. I would miss game 1 if we happen to made the championship, but I could catch game 2, and if there's a game 3. But there's a lot of ball left to play before that. I can make those plans.
I know. I'm sitting here and I'm like looking. I'm like, all right, it is June the 12th. I'm sitting here looking at Justin's tour dates. Ooh, man. Right like in the middle of the championship series. Like you're not far away though. It looks like you're going to be in Cedar Rapids the 21st, and so you can maybe play that show and then pop down to Omaha. Like at least you're somewhat close.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think I looked, and it was 4 or 5 hours, something like that. So I could just pop over in the bus and catch the next game or 2 or whatever. So we'll see. But I last time we went to Omaha, it was actually Father's Day weekend again, and I came home on the bus from a show and exhausted and just ready to hang out with the kids. And my wife, as soon as I walk in the door, she goes, "Happy Father's Day. I got you a backpack. Go get back on the bus. We're going to Omaha." And I was thrilled, but I was like, I want to kind of hang out with the kids. And she goes, "Well, you can't. We're going there." Man, what a great experience. I'm sure you've been, but
right.
I couldn't believe the magnitude of what they do. I've never been to a Super Bowl, but that's what it seemed like to me. I mean, just how great a job that city does, and the atmosphere was awesome. Now we went 2 and out, which was not a whole lot of fun, but we had a really good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one, like you want to, whatever the peak attendance is and whatever like the peak crowd noise is, whatever like the standard is, I think it's going to be broken by Saturday night. LSU and Arkansas, for my money, 2 of the best fan bases in college baseball. I think it is going to be incredible. It is going to be packed to the gills. It's going to be loud. It's at night, Justin. Those fans are going to be well hydrated. They are going to have all day to get their mind right, ready for the game. And so, man, whatever like the best atmosphere in that stadium is, it's going to be passed up, I think, by what we see on Saturday night.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think both of our coaches, Coach Johnson and Coach Van Horn, have both mentioned that. It's going to be great. And I agree with you, too, that I don't see how there's 2 better, more passionate, well-traveled college baseball fan bases in the country. And so it's going to be elite as far as atmosphere goes. And, for a few years, man, until the last few years, we've had some really good basketball runs. But, we've had baseball for the past 20 years with Coach Van Horn or whatever it's been. And so that's what Razorback fans have had. And they go, okay, take a sigh of relief. At least it's baseball season. We know we're going to be good in baseball, at least, and we can compete with anybody, and we get high-level recruits and all that. And so I think that's part of it for us, at least. And obviously, you guys with the legendary coach Skip Burtman started that. It may have been somebody before that I'm unaware of.
No, it's Skip. It's all Skip.
Yeah. And then we had Coach Norm DeBryan who did that for us before Dave got there, and so it's we've had a lot of tradition. You guys more because y'all have gotten over the hump. What is it, 7 times?
7 times.
Yeah. So that obviously is part of it as well, a huge part of it.
All right, there he is. Good friend, country music superstar, Justin Moore, rooting on his Hogs there in Omaha. Justin, let's talk some trash through the text thread. Let's come up with a bet through the text thread, man. Looking forward to it.
get this bet lined out, and I'm sure you and I will be texting during the game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question about it, man.
Well, hey, good luck to you guys. Not too much luck,
Right.
but good luck to you guys, and it'll be fun regardless. Like I said, I hope it's a great game and a great tournament, and we'll roll it out there, see what happens, man.
Yep, no question about it, man. Truly do appreciate your time, Justin, man. I know how busy it is. I mean, you got tour dates coming up, so we appreciate a couple minutes here.
Hey, thanks, brother. Always good to talk to you. All the best.
All right, you as well. Again, Justin Moore, country music superstar, massive Arkansas fan. I was looking at his Twitter bio. Father, husband, Hog fan. Before he mentions country music, albums, awards that he's won, father, husband, Hog fan. So, I mean, I don't think that a lot of people, like, with the following that he has, would have known LSU's current head coach, their former head coach, like information. Like, he would have known maybe his team. But when I say this man is a true fan, he truly is. And so we'll see what that bet ends up being. I think Alondra came up with the best one yet. We'll see if we can get him to agree to it. All right, we will wrap up today's show when we come back. A little Ask the Bench here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. And when you go to the website, a lot of different things you can check out. Past client results, cases they can handle for you in the courtroom. You can find a list of their locations. That's like one thing, we always talk about is them being throughout the state of Louisiana. But let's list it out real quick. Alexandria, Baton Rouge, Denham Springs, Hammond, Gonzales, Houma, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Monroe, New Orleans, Opelousas, Shreveport, Zachary. I mean, they are everywhere in the state of Louisiana. And they've always got something going on as well throughout your local community, right? I mean, they are big supporters of every community that they're in. You can find all of that on social media. @GetGordon's going to be the handle there. And then, look, if you want to get in contact with them, it is your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Go Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. OTB closing out with a little Ask the Bench. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Do you loathe Eduardo Perez calling the College World Series?
Yes.
I don't know the guy personally, but if you haven't been there all season long, why would you be there in the biggest moment?
Yeah.
It's kind of my deal. And
he's just, I don't love him on any call.
ESPN's college baseball coverage during the year is better than any other coverage that they do as far as the talent that they have in the booth. Chris Burt, Ben McDonald, Todd Walker. KP, Calvary. Like I could go through the list of the guys that are just do an incredible job. And so, like, why would you go away from those guys for somebody that covers Major League Baseball that just doesn't know the ins and outs? And that's not even like a knock against him. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can say that if I'm watching a baseball game, my guy's on the call there, like a Major League Baseball game, my wife will walk in and go, nope, turn it down.
Yeah.
Not listening to that. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're on something. Ask the Bench, why did T-Bob really leave Baton Rouge? Took a new job. He's out there doing some stuff yesterday.
The truth is he's on the run. He's trying to run the cops. Like, he's running from the cops.
T-Bob wouldn't run. He would just say, you got me. We'll see you tomorrow. OTB.
Off the Bench.
All right. You got me. And, like, he would do that by the time he got to Port Allen, I think.
That's fair, because he did say if Caitlin cheated on him, he'd just be like, can
we act like that did not happen and just say, like, let's reset? And I truly believe that. Just like I believe in Central Plumbing, centralplumbing.org. Not only in Central, in the greater Baton Rouge area, we are talking to you. And also 24/7, 365 game day, weekend, holiday, does not matter. If you have that emergency, 225-925-8552. So like Saturday night, if you're watching the Tigers and the Hogs and all of a sudden you have a plumbing issue and you're like, oh my God, this is doomsday. Remember, Central Plumbing will even be out then. It is a weekend. It is a game day. Is it Flag Day? I don't really know. But still, Central Plumbing will be there every single time. CentralPlumbing.org, 225-925-8552.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a